Chapter 2760. With Tao Wucha taking the lead, the others also stood up. Tao Yu and Tao Qianhu left without saying a word. If Tao Mingxue did not intend to stand on the same side as them, why would they force him? At worst, the brothers could do whatever they wanted. They could just fight for their own interests. Big brother, you're being too harsh. Tao Feng looked at him in confusion. Are you really going to offend everyone? Do you think third brother will stand on the same side as you if you do this? You're underestimating him. He won't do as you wish. Among the 6 of us, you and I are the oldest. Tao Feng, you're 70 this year, right? Tao Mingxue asked. Tao Feng was stunned for a moment before she nodded. Although this woman looked to be in her early 50s and had taken good care of herself, she could not hide her age from others, especially her family. She could hide it from others but not from her own family. You're 70. Why be as impulsive as them? Tao Mingxue said. Brother, I'm not being impulsive, Tao Feng said. I'm just planning for my future. I understand. You're also thinking for the next generation. Tao Mingxue said, but if you force third brother now, do you think it'll be good for the next generation? Tao Feng was stunned. She did not understand what Tao Mingxue meant. Tao Mingxue sighed. It won't be good at all because our children are all grown up. Do you understand? Tao Feng seemed to understand a little. Other than our children, the other 3 children are still young. They're not even as old as Tao Yinan. Tao Mingxue said, so they're not a threat in Longqing's eyes. But you and I are different. We're a threat in Longqing's eyes. When Tao Mingxue said this, Tao Feng seemed to understand. If they made a scene at this time, Tao En, Tao Kong, and Tao Yi would be in danger. Tao Mingxue could guarantee that. That was why he did not want to provoke Tao Longqing too directly. If Tao Longqing was pushed too far, as a person who had just lost a son, it was very likely that he would give them a taste of his own medicine. That was why Tao Mingxue did not dare to provoke Tao Longqing too much. Among the siblings, he was probably the one who understood Tao Longqing the most. He could understand the other people's urgency, but he could resist the threat. If they really forced Tao Longqing at this time, Tao Longqing could do anything. It could even be said that if Tao Longqing saw that the clan was going to fall into chaos, divide, and kill each other, he would dare to directly give power to his cousins and let those people join in the killing. Because once this kind of slaughter began, it meant that he no longer had to worry about anything. At that time, he would no longer have the final say in the Tao family. As the head of the family, he would no longer be the head of the family. Therefore, Tao Mingxue believed that Tao Longqing understood in his heart that it would be best if there was no chaos. If there was chaos, he would make sure that everything was completely messed up and start anew. No one should think about rising up because of his downfall, especially the people among his siblings. There was a saying that was very true. What people were jealous of was not the meteoric rise of strangers, but the meteoric rise of the people around them. This was the place to be. If the Tao family fell into chaos, Tao Longqing would rather let his cousins take over the Tao family and take control of everything than let his brothers take over. This was the strange heart of human beings. It was just like how you would not be jealous of Uncle Ma's links being sold for hundreds of millions on Double 11 and Double 12, but a certain Chong would be jealous of this. I can understand you, Tao Mingxue said to Ceramic Phoenix. I also hope you can understand me. I understand, Ceramic Phoenix said lightly. It's just that what you're thinking about is something they won't accept. They're still young. They won't think so much. Qianhu and Wucha are indeed too young, but Lao Si shouldn't think that way. He's not young anymore. Senior Tao Ming sighed. Ceramic Phoenix smiled but said nothing. Tao Mingxue was startled. Maybe Brown Tiger has other motives? Big brother, Ceramic Phoenix said expressionlessly. The human heart is unpredictable. The 2 of them said nothing. Ceramic Phoenix also got up and left. It was supposed to be a meeting where everyone's hearts were twisted into a rope. It circled around, the human heart is unpredictable. In the end, no one knew what the other was thinking. The human heart was sometimes so interesting. When faced with people who didn't want to work with them, they would try their best to get in touch with them. When faced with people who wanted to work with them, they would begin to figure out what the other party's motives were. Scary. It was really scary. Even Tao Mingxue deeply felt the horror of the relationship between siblings. This really shocked him more than the feelings of an outsider. He didn't dare to say or guarantee what would happen. All he could do now was to protect himself as much as possible. Only by protecting himself well could he talk about other things. If he couldn't understand such a simple principle, he would have lived for more than 70 years in vain. Tao Mingxue believed that without him, no one else would be able to make any waves. Therefore, he was sure that Tao Longqing would definitely pay him a visit. All Tao Mingxue needed to do now was to wait for good news. Just now, he didn't let Tao Yu smoke in the tea room for the same reason. Tao Mingxue and Tao Longqing didn't smoke. It could even be said that they didn't like the smell of cigarettes. Even if a cigar was placed in front of them, they wouldn't even look at it. Although Tao Mingxue believed that Tao Longqing would be able to guess that the few of them would gather at his place, he still didn't want Tao Longqing to appear here and smell the thick smell of smoke. That way, even a fool would know that the others had been here. Tao Yu was the only person in the Tao family who dared to smoke in front of Tao Mingxue. Even Tao Qianhu didn't dare to light a cigarette in front of Tao Mingxue. Ceramic Phoenix would smoke occasionally, but she would never smoke in front of her big brother. She would only be reprimanded if she did. Some things could be perceived by the other party. It was one kind of mood. However, this kind of thing that was obvious to the other party would be another kind of mood if the other party found out. Tao Mingxue found the best tea leaves in his collection. He knew that Longqing also liked to drink tea and had a better taste in tea than he did. So, he had to find the best tea leaves to treat him. Even if there was no brotherhood between the two of them in the future, he should still prepare this cup of tea for him. Tao Mingxue walked to the courtyard outside the tea room and looked at the lonely fallen leaf under the tree. Louis still knew his roots. He was 76 years old this year. He couldn't have been kicked out of the Tao family at this age, could he? That would be really embarrassing. Even if he died this time, he would die at home and scatter his ashes in the courtyard of his home. Tao Mingxue raised his head and closed his eyes. He pondered for a long time. He felt that he was really wrong. He should have seized power before Tao Longqing's wings were fully grown. He shouldn't have listened to his father's teachings and supported Tao Longqing. If he hadn't made the wrong decision back then, he wouldn't have to face such a choice today. Perhaps the Tao family would be even stronger than it was now. At least there wouldn't be such a crisis, right? Chapter 2761. Although the Tao family had been handed over to Tao Longqing during Tao Mingxue's generation, Tao Mingxue, who was the eldest son and eldest grandson, would still consider the future of the Tao family. Tao Mingxue knew the crisis the Tao family was facing, and he believed Tao Longqing knew it too. The two of them were well aware of what the real problem they were facing was, even if they were not on the same side. If it was the fate of the entire Tao family, they could be said to be on the same side. They didn't want the Tao family to fall because of this. However, they didn't know if God would grant them their wish. A hysterical curse came from Tao Yinan's room, followed by the sound of things being smashed. Tao Longqing, who had been standing at the door all this time, suddenly had a gloomy expression. He knew that if he guessed correctly, his daughter was really going to suffer this time. Aren't you experts? How can you be experts if you can't even treat such a small problem? Tao Yinan scolded without holding back. Scram! Miss Tao, you should listen to our explanation. I asked you to come here to treat my illness, not to explain it to me. Tao Yinan grabbed things and smashed them again. Just now, these experts actually told her that her eyes were severely injured, and her retina and cornea were severely damaged. It was impossible to recover, and her nervous system was injured because of her rubbing. Even if they could get a cornea, it wouldn't be of much use. How could this be? This definitely couldn't be. It was absolutely impossible. Tao Yinan couldn't accept it. Because these ophthalmologists actually told her that even if she got the best cornea, her vision would still be blurry after they helped her with the surgery. A clear description was that she could see the rough outline of things. She could tell if something was a person, a dog, or a car, but she couldn't tell anything else. Also, after the surgery, her eyes could distinguish between day and night. That was all he could ask for. It was impossible for him to ask for anything more. Of course, Tao Yi would flip out when she heard this. If it was anyone else, they probably wouldn't be able to accept this fact. Miss Tao, this is the diagnosis. You have to accept it. I'm warning you, the day my eyes can see, I'll find you and let you know why you died. Tao Yinan said fiercely. Tao Yinan no longer cooperated with the rest of the examination. She didn't trust these quacks anymore. When these people were chased out and saw that Tao Longqing was still at the door, they all lowered their heads to express their incompetence. Tao Longqing knew his daughter's temper. He just waved his hand at these people, indicating that they could leave. Mr. Tao, I'm really sorry. Tao Longqing was not in the mood to pay attention to these apologies. He impatiently waved his hand and told them to leave as soon as possible. The room was still filled with the sound of things being smashed. Tao Longqing knew that there was no point in persuading them. He let out a long sigh and left. Since it had already happened, no one could change it. Accepting reality and changing the unfavorable situation was what he should be thinking about now. Originally, Tao Longqing didn't want to go, but now, he could only go to the place he didn't want to go, to solve the problem he had to solve, and to face the crisis he had to face. When Tao Mingxue heard the knock on the door, he just said one word casually, "Come in." Then he brewed the tea himself and sat down with a smile. Tao Longqing didn't say much after entering the door. He sat next to Tao Mingxue with ease and picked up the tea Tao Mingxue brewed for him. In such a big house, I can only taste the fragrance of tea in your building. Tao Longqing smiled. Tao Mingxue also tasted the tea by himself. Ci Feng and Wu Cha both like coffee, while Lao Si and Lao Wu like to drink. Other than us two brothers, I'm afraid no one else knows how intoxicating the fragrance of tea is. Tao Longqing smiled and didn't say anything. He carefully tasted the tea. After a while he said, although they don't like to drink tea, I'm sure that if they come here, Big Brother will treat them with good tea. Of course. Tao Mingxue smiled. But I won't give them the De Hong Pao from the 9-dragon nest of Wui Mountain. It's a waste. Tao Longqing smiled. There were only a few De Hong Pao trees on the 9-dragon nest of Wui Mountain. The annual production was small, and the amount that could be passed down to private hands was even less. If it was divided into 10 portions, at least 7 or 8 portions would be taken away by the state to treat important guests. As for the remaining 2 or 3 portions, no more than 10 people would have a chance to get it. Therefore, it wasn't easy for Tao Longqing to get the De Hong Pao from the 9-dragon nest of Wui Mountain. After all, he didn't spend all his time in Huaxia. The tea is good, but the mood of drinking it is a bit of a gamble. Tao Longqing smiled bitterly. I think I'm the one who's wasting it. On the contrary, they're in a good mood. Drinking some good tea is worthy of their mood. Tao Mingxue didn't respond to this and continued to pour tea for Tao Longqing. I know my own situation. Tao Longqing continued, fortunately, my own brother didn't hit me when I was down. Tao Mingxue knew he had something to say, so he listened and didn't say anything else. But I really don't know how long I can last. Tao Longqing continued, I wonder if Big Brother can point out a path for me. Tao Mingxue didn't stay silent this time. Longqing, you know it better than I do, and you see it more clearly than I do. Why do you need to ask me? No matter how clear I see it, I can't see through people's hearts. Tao Longqing said, people's hearts are very easy to influence. On the left is heaven, and on the right is hell. It's just a small fluctuation, and the choice can make a huge difference. Tao Mingxue smiled. He liked talking to Tao Longqing because Tao Longqing could always clearly convey what he wanted to express to him, but he could also not mention a single word during the entire process. Where do you want me to help you sway people's hearts? Tao Mingxue asked bluntly. Of course I don't want it to be hell. Tao Longqing raised his head and glanced at Tao Mingxue. Tao Mingxue thought for a moment. Longqing, Big Brother isn't as capable as you think. I'm afraid I can only sway my own heart. As for others, I really can't guarantee it, and I don't have the qualifications to sway them. Tao Longqing frowned. So, some things have already been discussed? Not yet. Tao Mingxue said, You don't have to be so nervous. Tao Longqing was silent for a long time. If he hadn't made a decision, it meant that someone had already made a request, or even a specific plan. This wasn't good news for Tao Longqing. You've already achieved your goal. Tao Mingxue said, Why are you frowning? Only then did the gloom on Tao Longqing's face disappear. He looked at Tao Mingxue gratefully. Big Brother, I know you're doing this for the Tao family, and so am I. I'm also doing this for the Tao family. Don't worry, as long as I, Tao Longqing, have the ability in this life, I won't mistreat my 3 nephews. Tao Mingxue chuckled. Tao Longqing's goal had been achieved, and so had his. Chapter 2762. The others didn't need to think too much to know what would happen between Tao Longqing and Tao Mingxue. The next day, Tao Mingxue's eldest son, Tao En, was appointed to take over Tao Zhu's position as the chairman of the Tao family's council. Although he was given the title of acting chairman, it didn't prevent Tao En from gaining actual power. With just this small movement, Tao Mingxue was certain that Tao Longqing had not found anyone else to rely on other than him. At this critical moment, Tao Longqing might still think that his big brother still remembered his father's teachings before he passed away. Tao Longqing chose to believe Tao Mingxue because Tao Mingxue didn't seize power after his father passed away. If Tao Mingxue had wanted to seize power 31 years ago, it would have been much easier. Tao Longqing bet that he wouldn't do what he didn't do back then either. However, 31 years was such a long period of time. People would always change, especially when it came to psychological changes, which were simply impossible to see. So Tao Longqing was risking his life this time. Otherwise, he could only watch as he was squeezed out of the Tao family's circle of power. Tao Yinan's eyes still couldn't be healed. Tao Longqing immediately arranged for people to take Tao Yinan to the United States for treatment. There had to be a place on Earth where this problem could be solved, right? That was what Tao Longqing thought. He only hoped that he could get through this. Aside from treating her eyes, there was another reason for sending Tao Yinan away, to ensure her safety. Tao Yinan's 2 aunts, Tao Tianfeng and Tao Wucha, looked gentle and refined, but they were actually vicious and merciless. Her 4th uncle, Tao Hewu, was even more impulsive. Once he made a wrong judgment, it was very likely that he would do something irreparable. Her youngest uncle, Tao Qianhu, seemed to have a good relationship with Tao Yinan, but he was very shrewd and scheming. Some of his actions had his own motives, so she had to be wary of him. No matter what the reason was, Tao Yinan had to leave. Only by leaving could she be safe for the time being. Tao Yinan definitely had a feeling about what was going to happen to the Tao family. She wasn't a fool who didn't know anything. Before leaving, Tao Longqing came to Tao Yinan alone one last time. Tao Yinan didn't let her father go out again. I hope you can get better, Tao Longqing said calmly. Otherwise, everything I've done will be meaningless. Are you really going to defend until the end? Tao Yinan was a little surprised by her father's actions. My brother is already dead. For me, you don't have to do this, do you? Tao Longqing smiled. Do you really think so? Tao Yinan didn't say anything. Whether you think so or not, I will do my best. Tao Longqing said, If I don't give you any news, don't come back. Tao Yinan's entire body froze. This was something she hadn't expected. Are we really going to make such a big bet? Tao Yinan took a deep breath. You're already so old, but you still have the courage. Dad, I admire you. Ha ha, this is nothing. Tao Longqing said, Even if I'm old, as long as it's for my child, I would still dare to do so. Tao Yinan waved her hand and didn't say anything more. She knew that she had better leave as soon as possible. Once her 2 aunts came looking for her, she wouldn't be able to leave even if she wanted to. Tao Yinan didn't want to ruin this pair of eyes. She didn't want to be blind for half her life. After watching Tao Yinan leave, Tao Longqing had settled one of his worries. In the future, he would let nature take its course. What should come would never be avoided, and what shouldn't come would never come. On the day Tao Yinan left, the Tao family stirred up a huge storm. Tao Longqing and Tao Mingxue formed a faction, and the other 4 made strong and excessive demands. Since they couldn't get it, since they couldn't let their descendants become the future head of the Tao family, they naturally wanted to split up. Tao Mingxue supported Tao Longqing because Tao Longqing gave him a guarantee that his descendants would be able to get real power in the future. This was enough for Tao Mingxue. The others didn't get such a guarantee and promise. This was absolutely unacceptable to them. The entire Tao family was in chaos. The Tao family wasn't the only one who wasn't having a good time. The Li family and the Zhou family were also having a hard time. No one knew who spread the news to the Zhou family, saying that Zhou Xuanqing died in Li Zheng's hands. The matter that could be covered up with a lie was magnified infinitely. Of course, the Zhou family couldn't accept this fact. However, Li Zheng didn't leave his life behind. The Li family was still worried about not having a place to vent. The accumulated grievances of the 2 big families collided and fought fiercely. The entire circle was messed up by them, and some normal businesses couldn't be carried out and operated normally. The impact was huge. The loss of a considerable amount of benefits also made them realize the harm that this kind of behavior brought. Unfortunately, it had already started, and no one was willing to lower their heads and admit defeat. Thinking back to how mighty the 7 big families were in the Big Dipper back then, it was really incomprehensible that they had fallen to such a state. The dominant Jiang family was wiped out together, the awe-inspiring Tao family had internal strife, and the Li and Zhou families were in a mess. Half of the international economic interest network that the 7 big families had built together collapsed in an instant. Even the 3 major families, who were still living a relatively stable life, could clearly feel the impact of the economic shock on them. In fact, this bad karma was planted by themselves, and now they had nothing to say about it. On the weekend, Zhao Zihu stayed in his villa in the suburbs of Paris. There were too many headaches during this time, and now he just wanted to relax completely. The girls in this romantic city were very hot, which was why Zhao Zihu especially liked the environment that his family brought to him. Red wine, champagne, beautiful women, hot dancing. Zhao Zihu reveled to his heart's content in his villa. This was a night that belonged to him and the 3 Parisian girls, and no one could disturb him. After his mobile phone was turned off, Zhao Zihu completely fell into the land of tenderness. Finally, he didn't need to hear the harassment of the phone ringing, and he didn't need to hear those things that gave him a headache and made him sick. Damn the family interest network. If it weren't for this network, the Zhao family wouldn't be affected when other families were in trouble. Zhao Zihu threw himself on the bed and vented his recent emotional unhappiness to his heart's content. Although this could only make him forget the pain for a very short time, it was also very important to him for the time being. Otherwise, he wouldn't know the purpose and meaning of his life. The Parisian girls were passionate and wild, and they could always make him throw his troubles to the highest heavens very quickly. Even if it was only for a few seconds, he was willing. Today, Zhao Zihu was particularly brave. Qian Zhang gave him a blue pill a while ago, and the power of this pill was really not simple. Today, in order to stay up all night to fight the 3 girls, he didn't hurt his body and ate 2 pills in one go. Now, Zhao Zihu couldn't stop at all. This medicine was really great. After eating these, he would definitely go to Qian Zheng to get some more. The villa in the suburbs of Paris was brightly lit, and the room upstairs was full of women's voices. Downstairs, a person walked in and slowly sat on the sofa. Chapter 2763. The uninvited guest was wearing a hoodie, so his face could not be seen clearly. He picked up a bottle of red wine on the table and drank several mouthfuls. After a moment of rest, he raised the bottle again and drank several mouthfuls of red wine. At this time, he seemed to have forced out the coldness in his body. The uninvited guest pushed his hoodie to the back of his neck, revealing his face and facial features. Blackwater. It was really not easy to come all the way from Moscow to Paris. Now, from Western Russia to Eastern Europe, or even all of Europe, Tao Longqing's people were looking for him. It was not an easy task to avoid so many eyes and ears. Blackwater did not want to go back to the Tao family because he was afraid that the Tao family would punish him. That was obviously impossible. Blackwater just did not want to get involved in the quarrels of family reconstruction. He really did not have the energy and heart to help one side fight for the world. It was not easy to fight for the world. The first thing was to choose a side and stand on the right side. If the side he chose lost, he would never be able to make a comeback. But even if he stood on the right side, he might not have a good result. For example, how many of the founding ministers who followed the emperors to fight for the world had a good ending? They were all killed because they were worried that their achievements would overshadow their master. Anyway, Blackwater did not want to get involved in this kind of thing, so he tried his best to avoid Tao Longqing's eyes and ears. It was not easy to come to Paris, and it was really not easy to get the address where Zhao Zihu would go alone. Before he met Zhao Zihu, Blackwater would not be so stupid to go to the Zhao family directly. That would inevitably be looked down upon. Everything was about control and skill. Even if he had to live under someone else's roof, as long as he mastered the right method, the way others looked at him would be different. Blackwater had experienced this. He knew too well how to get the respect and high opinion of others. As long as he caught the other side off guard, as long as he made the other side sigh, "How nice it would be if you were my man." Once he had this thought, it would be much easier to solve the problem. Upstairs, Zhao Zihu was still in high spirits. At this time, it was obviously not appropriate for Blackwater to disturb him. He drank while looking at the time. In the end, even Blackwater couldn't help but feel surprised. Zhao Zihu didn't stop for an hour and a half. His body could really bear it. After the noises stopped, Blackwater put down the red wine and slowly went upstairs. He tried his best to control his breath so that he could not make a sound. "Young Master Zhao, long time no see." Blackwater appeared beside Zhao Zihu's bed and greeted him without warning. Zhao Zihu sat up with his eyes wide open. He was almost exhausted a moment ago, but now he was full of energy. The three Parisian girls on the bed also grabbed the things at hand to cover their bodies. "Don't be so nervous. I mean no harm to young Master Zhao." Blackwater smiled faintly. When Zhao Zihu saw that it was Blackwater, his heart that almost jumped out of his chest gradually calmed down. "Why are you here?" Zhao Zihu looked at Blackwater in astonishment. One of his two subordinates suddenly fell ill, leaving only Little Seven. However, Little Seven wasn't weak either. She actually lost without a sound in front of Blackwater. Blackwater maintained his kind smile. "Don't worry, young Master Zhao. Your men are fine. I just played a little trick. I'm asking you why you are here." Zhao Zihu opened his eyes wide and quickly put on his clothes. Everyone knew that Blackwater was Tao Zhu's man. Zhao Zihu and the others were very polite to Blackwater to give Tao Zhu face. Zhao Zihu's roar was obviously caused by his uncontrollable emotions because he was not used to this sudden situation. "Young Master Zhao, you must know that the Tao family is in such a mess now." Blackwater said, "I have to think about my own future. If the Tao family is divided, I can't be dismembered too." Zhao Zihu was stunned. He seemed to be able to guess the meaning of Blackwater's appearance today. "All of you, get out." Zhao Zihu waved his hand, indicating the three Parisian girls to leave his room. The three girls were about to put on their clothes and leave, but Zhao Zihu shouted, "Get out right now. What are you wearing?" Just like that, a few white and smooth bodies ran out naked. "Young Master Zhao, you are indeed young and strong. You must be an expert in controlling women." Blackwater smiled. "Young Master Zhao, you are really a dragon among men. I admire you." "Blackwater, Why are you here? There are no outsiders now. Tell me clearly. We may have a chance to cooperate. Zhao Zihu was a straightforward person. Blackwater knew there was a chance. But if you don't tell me, or if you want to beat around the bush, then I'm sorry. Zhao Zihu said, I'm not someone who can be used as a chess piece. Blackwater smiled. Of course. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come to you. After Zhao Zihu put on his clothes, he looked out of the window. This was the suburbs. If Blackwater made a move, he would not be able to escape. Fortunately, Zhao Zihu could not think of any way that he had offended Blackwater. This made him feel at ease. Then tell me. Zhao Zihu calmed down. I believe young Master Zhao knows the situation of the Tao family, Blackwater said, so I don't want to stay there anymore. Zhao Zihu smiled faintly. If that's the case, does the famous Blackwater want to seek refuge with me? Ha ha ha, your presence brings light to my humble dwelling. Blackwater knew Zhao Zihu was being sarcastic, so he did not answer. Seeing that Blackwater did not speak, Zhao Zihu continued, Young Master Tao, how did you die in Huaxia? Blackwater knew why Zhao Zihu asked this question, but he didn't answer. This is why young Master Zhao needs me. Blackwater, my words may not sound nice, but I think you should accept them. Zhao Zihu paused for a second. Go ahead, Blackwater said. Zhao Zihu thought for a while. There is a rumor in the underground world that you are a jinx. No matter who you work with, you will hurt them. Blackwater snorted, but did not refute. I thought the rumor must be false since you and young Master Tao were fine for so many years. But now it seems. Zhao Zihu suddenly stopped as he spoke. Blackwater said, the more ambitious a person is, the greater the danger and the higher the risk. I, Blackwater, am a person with ambition. I don't want to work for someone without ambition and ambition. Zhao Zihu was stunned. There are risks with ambition and ambition. This is all because of my bad luck. It has nothing to do with me, Blackwater said. Blackwater said, young Master Tao died because everything was planned by his own sister. Even if I wasn't by his side, he would still die. So, it was just a coincidence? Blackwater nodded. Zhao Zihu was lost in thought. Keeping such a person by his side was obviously beneficial, but he needed to consider whether the benefits would outweigh the drawbacks. If the benefits were not as good as the drawbacks, why would he bring himself such trouble? In Zhao Zihu's eyes, Blackwater was like a bomb with a fuse that could explode at any time. To make good use of Blackwater, it depended on whether a person had the ability to throw him into the enemy's hands when he was about to explode, and then use him when everything was going well. Chapter 2764. The biggest challenge Zhao Zihu had to face was how to make a choice. Keeping Blackwater by his side had a huge advantage, but there was also a huge risk. At least for now, Zhao Zihu didn't know if Blackwater had anything to do with Tao Zhu's death. Zhao Zihu would never know the answer to these things. He could only guess. If he asked Blackwater, he wasn't sure if Blackwater would tell him. However, he was sure of one thing. Even if Blackwater gave him an answer, he wouldn't believe it easily. Therefore, he didn't need to ask. He just needed to make a judgment and weigh the pros and cons. Now, the only reliable person he could rely on was Shao Qi. There were other masters, but the gap between them and Blackwater was too big. What can you do for me? Zhao Zihu thought for a long time before asking. Blackwater's personal strength was an irresistible temptation. I don't need to explain why Tao Zhu died and why the Tao family became like this, Blackwater said slowly. Zhao Zihu frowned. What do you mean? The Li family and the Zhou family are in a mess because of Li Zhang and Zhou Xuancheng. The fight between the two families will only end in a lose-lose situation. No one will benefit from it. Blackwater said, the internal strife of the Tao family is very likely to tear the Tao family apart and leave the ranks of the big families. I'm asking you, what do you mean by saying this to me? Zhao Zihu emphasized. Why did all this happen? Blackwater asked. Zhao Zihu was stunned. Of course, it was because of the purge of the Jiang family. However, Zhao Zihu didn't answer. He just told Blackwater with his expression that he knew. Because of the Jiang family. Blackwater helped him say, if it wasn't for the Jiang family, none of this would have happened. Zhao Zihu wanted to say that even if it was because of the Jiang family, it was because they attacked the Jiang family first. Jiang Zishue and Jiang Jing's son, Jiang Hong, are still in Huaxia, Blackwater said. Blackwater said, what they want is for the other families to become as miserable as them. Zhao Zihu sucked in a breath of cold air. What he was afraid of really came true. The Tao family, which is the leader, is already in chaos. The Li family, who betrayed them, has also paid the price. What else do they want? Zhao Zihu asked even though he already knew the answer. You think this is enough? Zhao Zihu asked, isn't that enough? Young Master Zhao, if it were you, what would you do? If you were a member of the Jiang family, Blackwater Taoist said, would you forgive those who participated in the massacre of their family? Zhao Zihu's answer was no, but he couldn't say it out loud. Of course not. No one would, Blackwater continued. Zhao Zihu's expression had already begun to turn ugly. The Li family and Zhou family are in chaos. The Tao family is also in chaos. Blackwater said, 3 out of the 6 families involved in this matter don't need their consideration. The rest are your Zhao family, Chen family, and Sun family. Zhao Zihu's expression became uglier and uglier. I believe that I don't have to say much about the situation of your 3 clans. Blackwater said, the current head of the Sun family is Sun Jie, Sun Haoming's father. Who is he? No one will look up to a man who relies on women to get to the top. Although the Chen family is more powerful than the Sun family, it has always been low-key. It is not easy to become the focus of hatred. Zhao Zihu's heart skipped a beat. Now, among the remaining 3 families, the most dazzling one is your Zhao family. Blackwater threw this sentence unceremoniously. If I were a member of the Jiang family, my next target would be you. Blackwater, don't be an alarmist. Zhao Zihu frowned. Blackwater's face was expressionless. Whether I am an alarmist or not, you know better than me. Zhao Zihu was stunned and didn't say anything. Now he had indeed been thrown into the teeth of the storm. Whether he admitted it or not, as long as Jiang Hong and Jiang Zishue made another move, the Zhao family would inevitably be hurt. And he was the entry point of the Zhao family. If it was before, Zhao Zihu really didn't have such a big sense of fear. But now even the pottery figurines were useless. Not only did the Tao family not immediately take revenge, but they immediately, anxiously, caused internal strife. The chain reaction of all this made Zhao Zihu afraid. Now, no one could stand in front of him. Then how could he avoid this calamity? Blackwater? Could he count on him? After all, Blackwater was still one of Tao Zhu's people when he died. Blackwater wouldn't be of much use, right? You think you can protect me? Zhao Zihu asked, how did the pottery figurines die? There are some things I didn't want to say. But since you asked, I won't hide it from you, Blackwater said. After all, I came to find you sincerely. Tell me. Because of Tao Yinan, Blackwater said. I was used by Tao Yinan, so I didn't do anything when I should have. Zhao Zihu sucked in a breath of cold air. This was too terrifying. This Tao Yinan was really too terrifying. Anyone could use her, anyone could deal with her. She didn't even show any mercy to her own brother. Is this true or not? Zhao Zihu shook his head. I've said it. Whether young Master Zhao believes me or not is up to you, Blackwater said. Zhao Zihu took a deep breath. Where's Tao Yinan? I'm afraid she's crippled, Blackwater said. She's blind, so the chances of her being cured are slim. If she wasn't blind and could still call the shots in the Tao family, I believe I wouldn't be here. What do you think, young Master Zhao? Zhao Zihu believed that. Blackwater had made things very clear today. No matter what we're facing, Zhao Zihu said, you'll help me. I have my reasons for coming here, Blackwater said. Of course I'm willing to shoulder my responsibilities. Zhao Zihu was surprised. The Tao family is still looking for you? Tao Longqing will definitely want me to go back and help him, Blackwater said. But I can't go back. If I go back, I'll be used and there'll be only one outcome. Tao Longqing knows his daughter, so he knows how Tao Inan is using me. I'll be in danger. You're also a smart person, Zhao Zihu said. If I wasn't, I wouldn't have come to you, young Master Zhao, Blackwater said. Blackwater said, among the remaining 3 families, the only one that can give me hope is the Zhao family. Zhao Zihu took a deep breath. Then when do you think the Zhang family's remnants will come to me? Why wait for them? Blackwater said. Zhao Zihu's expression changed. What do you mean? The one who strikes first has the advantage, Blackwater said. Blackwater had his own reasons for coming to the Zhao family. He felt that he had to settle things with Su Yun. He didn't care if the Zhang family died, but he had to kill Su Yun. If it weren't for Su Yun, he wouldn't have ended up in his current state. It was Su Yun who had ruined everything for him, ruined his current life. If it weren't for Su Yun, why would he come to Zhao Zihu and do this? Are you sure you're not crazy? Zhao Zihu looked incredulous. Then we'll wait, Blackwater said. If young Master Zhao has a trick up his sleeve, I'll wait with you. Chapter 2765. Was Zhao Zihu a fool? Was it a smart move to strike after the enemy had struck? At that time, he was forced to do so. Have you fought with Zhang Hong and experienced his flying dagger? Zhao Zihu's eyes rested on Blackwater. Of course. Blackwater said, I know what Zhang Hong is like. I also know that he wants to take revenge on any of the 6 major families. I believe you. Zhao Zihu said, since you can come back safely, Zhang Hong's flying dagger is not a big threat to you, right? Blackwater's face showed a trace of disapproval. If his personal strength can be improved to a higher level, maybe I will be worried about his flying dagger. With his current strength, you don't take him seriously at all. Zhao Zihu continued. I dare not say that. Blackwater said, but at least it will be difficult for him to hurt me. Zhao Zihu did not care whether Blackwater was telling the truth or not. Then if I keep you by my side, can you guarantee my safety? I can guarantee that. Blackwater said, if I can't even do that, how can I still be here? Wouldn't that be a joke? Don't be so sure. Zhao Zihu said, what proof do you have to show me? Blackwater stopped talking nonsense. I don't need proof. If young Master Zhao feels that I am bothering you, I can leave now. I believe that after the Zhang family takes revenge on the Zhao family, they will still target the Chen family and the Sun family. I am looking for them now to make preparations. I believe that they will give me a meal. Don't go. Zhao Zihu shouted. I won't waste my time. Blackwater did not hesitate and continued to turn and leave. Zhao Zihu panicked when he saw this. I was just joking. You don't need to prove anything. Blackwater stopped. Young Master Zhao, are you kidding me? The Zhao family can give you more than they can. Zhao Zihu said, I know you are not the kind of person who just wants to make a living. I can give you what you want. Blackwater looked at Zhao Zihu and was silent for a while. I won't misjudge you. As long as you don't disappoint me, I won't disappoint you, Zhao Zihu continued. Young Master Zhao, don't speak without thinking. Some things can't be said carelessly. Blackwater narrowed his eyes. Zhao Zihu laughed heartily. If I dare to give people hope, I can satisfy them. It's that simple. Only then did Blackwater's surging heart slowly increase. I hope that we can work together for a long time. Do you understand what I mean? Zhao Zihu said. Blackwater was startled. It seemed that Zhao Zihu's ambition was bigger than he had imagined. Everything in the Zhao clan will definitely be mine in the future. This is something that I hold firmly in my hands. No one can take it away from me. Zhao Zihu said, I want more. As long as you can help me, it will be a cooperative relationship between the two of us. I am not some young Master Zhao, and you are not just my bodyguard. Blackwater said calmly, "What do you need me to do? 7-Star Radiance's international economic chain has been broken. At this time, I have full confidence to fight for more benefits with my identity and background." Zhao Zihu said, "And there will be competition in the process. How to eliminate the competitors is your business. One had the identity to use, the other had the strength to do the dirty things. One was bright, one was dark. One was white, one was black. Let Zhao Zihu do the glamorous things, and let Blackwater deal with the despicable things." The division of labor between the two was very clear. "Then what can I get?" Blackwater still didn't change his expression. Zhao Zihu stretched out 3 fingers. "Is this enough?" Blackwater didn't even look at Zhao Zihu. 30%. Humph, he was really using him like a beggar on the street. How many things did he have to do for 30% of the benefits? People who didn't do this would never imagine how many times he had to risk his life to keep 30% of the benefits. And he, Zhao Zihu, only needed to dress up and act cool. Blackwater certainly wouldn't agree to such an unfair thing. "Brother Blackwater, 30% is already a lot." Zhao Zihu said, "You have to know that without my connections, ordinary people wouldn't have the opportunity to enter this network of economic interests." Blackwater still didn't speak. "On the surface, I have 70%, but in fact, I can get about the same as you." Zhao Zihu saw Blackwater's firm attitude and had to complain. "I need to use a lot of connections." Zhao Zihu said, "You should know the unspoken rules in the business circle, right?" Blackwater looked up at Zhao Zihu. "Then how many lives do you think I have to risk?" Zhao Zihu was stumped by Blackwater's words. Well, just pretend I didn't say anything. 40%. This is the most I can give." The benefits would be divided into 10 parts, 2 would be used for the operation of the relationship, and the remaining 8 would be taken by each of them. In this way, Blackwater would feel that his identity and status had been recognized. "Are you satisfied?" Zhao Zihu said. 10% of the benefits was not a small number, it could easily be hundreds of millions or billions of benefits. 10% was enough to scare people to death. Blackwater raised his head and looked out of the window. Did he really only need money? No, he also needed a status that would allow him to establish himself in this world. Otherwise, why would he do such a despicable thing? "I want more than that," Blackwater said lightly. "I want a new identity, a new identity. As long as you deal with this economic network, I'll give you whatever identity you want." Zhao Zihu said, "We'll call each other brothers and share this delicious soup together." "Will you really give me an identity?" Blackwater didn't believe it. Once Zhao Zihu gave him an identity, would he still need to use Zhao Zihu's identity to make money? Zhao Zihu gave a start. "Of course. Ha ha ha. Then what you need now is to protect your identity." Blackwater said, "If you let the Zhang siblings destroy the Zhao family, your identity will be worthless. At that time, it will also be worthless to me. Then I'll rely on you for this matter. Brother Blackwater, I want you to help me cut the weeds and eliminate the roots to prevent future troubles." Zhao Zihu said. "Gather all the experts that can be used for me." Blackwater said, "I can't deal with this matter alone. There's a saying that 2 fists can't fight 4 hands. If I want to completely defeat them, I need you to help me find some really useful helpers." Zhao Zihu thought that there were only a few experts that could be used in the Zhao family, and they still needed to guard the house. It was not reliable for Blackwater to take them out. "I'll help you contact them tomorrow," Zhao Zihu said. "No matter how much it costs, I'll help you find enough helpers. I need at least 8 experts above the Grandmaster realm." Blackwater said lightly. In this way, he could completely wipe out Su Yun and the others. After all, Su Yun only had 1 Grandmaster realm expert that he could bring out. The rest of them were too weak to withstand a single blow. As for Su Yun, Blackwater wanted to deal with him personally, and let this person who ruined his plan be thoroughly punished. He wanted him to suffer a fate worse than death. Chapter 2766. 8 Masters of the Grandmaster Realm? Where could he find them? Even if he could find them, how much money would he have to spend? Zhao Zihu was stunned by Blackwater's request. Brother Blackwater, if I could find 8 Masters of the Grandmaster Realm, would I still need to cooperate with you? Blackwater laughed out loud. Ha ha ha, I never thought that young Master Zhao of the Zhao family was a frog at the bottom of a well. Is it so difficult to find 8 Masters of the Grandmaster Realm? Think about it. Tao Zhu went to Huaxia with a few people. I believe you must have heard about it. Speaking of this, Zhao Zihu was a little scared. Tao Zhu went to Huaxia with 6 people except Tao Yinan. They were all at least of the Grandmaster Realm, and he himself was a master of the Grandmaster Realm. And there was no lack of Blackwater, a master of the Profound World Realm. Now that Blackwater wanted 8 people from him, it was not too much to ask for. Do you really think 8 people can solve the problem? Zhao Zihu asked. Blackwater nodded. Last time, they suffered because they were scattered. If they were concentrated, Blackwater believed that they would not have come to this point. So this time, Blackwater wanted these masters. As long as they were concentrated, Su Yun would not be able to deal with such a powerful force at once, no matter how powerful he was. If this can't be solved, then I can't do anything. Then I have no choice but to do so. Blackwater shook his head. Zhao Zihu gritted his teeth. Okay, I'll do my best. As long as I can do it, I'll do my best. Young Master Zhao, it doesn't matter to me. At most, I'll choose to live in seclusion. Blackwater said. Whether it's the Imperial Court or the mountains, there will always be a place for me. But it's different for the Zhao family. You'll have to face what Tao Zhu went through sooner or later. You'll have to go through what Tao Zhu went through sooner or later. Zhao Zihu shuddered. It's getting late. I won't disturb your rest. Blackwater said, the future you're dreaming of requires you to survive the current predicament. If you can't hold on until then, how can you talk about the future? Zhao Zihu had no confidence after hearing Blackwater's words. I know what you're thinking. Blackwater smiled. Don't worry too much. I'm here. As I said I would help you, I will definitely help you. Blackwater left, leaving Zhao Zihu alone for a long time, unable to calm down. Originally, Blackwater wanted to ask him for a favor, but now, it had become his request. This made Zhao Zihu feel very uncomfortable. Even if they were using each other, it would still be balanced. But now, he had to do so many things, and he had to lower his head. Blackwater was really good at doing business. This matter was imminent. Zhao Zihu believed in Blackwater's words. If he didn't act soon, everything would be too late. There was no doubt that the Zhang siblings' next target was the Zhao family. Zhao Zihu would never have thought that Zhang Hong and Zhang Zixue really did not put the Zhao family in their eyes. This time, they had already decided to let go of the hatred in their hearts. With regards to the destruction of the entire economic and trade network, they needed to seize the opportunity to rebuild the Zhang family, so they were not in the mood to pay attention to them. Zhao Zihu was completely frightened now. He deceived himself and put himself in a position where he had to die. What should he do and what should he not do? Zhao Zihu felt that he was being used. But even if Blackwater wanted to use him, he had nothing to say. He also wanted to use Blackwater. Was this a relationship of using each other? Why did Zhao Zihu feel that he was more likely to be used? However, people could not care so much in a crisis. Now, he just hoped to get himself out of danger as soon as possible. If the spearhead was not directed at him, Zhao Zihu would not be so nervous. After Blackwater left, the 3 romantic Parisian girls nestled in Zhao Zihu's arms again. But Zhao Zihu was not in the mood now. He flew into a rage and pushed the 3 girls away directly. He was extremely angry. Now, he was not in the mood to pay attention to these things. Get out of here. Zhao Zihu was a little angry. When he saw Shao Qi, who was knocked out by black water, he was not in a good mood. In fact, black water came to seek protection, but he talked in the way of cooperation, and his behavior directly showed his power to Zhao Zihu. This series of behavior made Zhao Zihu lose face. Of course, the more he thought about it, the more he felt that something was wrong. 8 Masters of the Supreme Power Realm. Was he kidding? Nowadays, a Master of the Supreme Power Realm was very rare. Where could he find 8 Masters of the Supreme Power Realm who could cooperate with him? When the 3 girls got dressed and were about to leave, Zhao Zihu suddenly shouted at them, "Don't go. Find a way to wake him up immediately." The 3 girls did not dare to offend young Master Zhao, who could do whatever he wanted with money. They quickly carried Shao Qi into the bathroom. The cold water soaked Shao Qi directly, and he quickly woke up. But after he woke up, he had no idea what had happened. His last memory was that a figure flashed in front of him. That was when he inhaled the colorless and odorless rosemary. When Shao Qi learned what had happened from Zhao Zihu, his face changed greatly. He did not expect that a master like Blackwater would use such a despicable method. He said he wants to cooperate. What do you think? Zhao Zihu trusted Shao Qi more. Shao Qi shook his head. I don't know, but young Master Zhao, his way of greeting seems to be a bit too much. I know that too. His show of strength is nothing more than wanting me to be more respectful to him. Zhao Zihu said, You're thinking too much. As long as young Master Zhao thinks it is appropriate, Shao Qi will listen to young Master Zhao's arrangement. Shao Qi said. Zhao Zihu sighed. He wants 8 Masters of the Supreme Power Realm, 8. Where can I find 8 Masters of the Supreme Power Realm for him? That's a little too much to ask. If he could find 8 Masters of the Supreme Power Realm, he would be willing to spend money to avoid future troubles. Shao Qi could see that Zhao Zihu still intended to cooperate with Blackwater. I heard of an organization called the Blood Wolf Group. Shao Qi said, I don't know if young Master Zhao has heard of it. Blood Wolf Group? Zhao Zihu was stunned. He had heard of this name, but he really didn't know what this Blood Wolf Group did. This Blood Wolf Group can help me find 8 Masters of the Supreme Power Realm? Zhao Zihu's eyebrows twisted together. Shao Qi nodded. If young Master Zhao needs 8 Masters of the Supreme Power Realm at once and can pay for them to work for you, I'm afraid only the Blood Wolf Group can solve the problem. Zhao Zihu's face was stunned. What did this Blood Wolf Group do? How could they have such a big ability? To be able to afford 8 Grandmaster Realm experts, that was definitely not ordinary. Zhao Zihu couldn't believe it when he thought about it. How do you know about this organization? Zhao Zihu's eyes fell on Shao Qi. Shao Qi said, I just heard about it. I thought that young Master Zhao would know more than me. It seems that young Master Zhao doesn't know anything about the Blood Wolf Group. Of course I don't know. If I knew, would I need you to help me think about this problem? Zhao Zihu frowned. Shao Qi smiled but didn't say anything. What exactly does the Blood Wolf Group do? Zhao Zihu asked directly. Chapter 2767. Blood Wolf Regiment. The existence of this organization probably dated back to the 10 Nations, but they had always been living in a place that was even darker than the underground world. The historical records of Hua Xia started with the Xia dynasty, followed by the Shang dynasty, the Zhou dynasty, and finally the Qin dynasty. After the Qin dynasty was destroyed, the Western Han dynasty, the Xian dynasty, the Shen Han dynasty, the Eastern Han dynasty, the Three Kingdoms period, the Jin dynasty, the Northern and Southern dynasties, the Northern dynasties, the Sui dynasty, the Tang dynasty, the Five dynasties, and finally the 10 Kingdoms period, and finally the Song dynasty. Many people knew about the Tang, Song, Yuan, Ming, and Qing dynasties. They skipped the 5 dynasties and the 10 Kingdoms because these 5 dynasties had a longer history and had a greater impact on the history of Hua Xia. The 10 Nations existed for more than 80 years in history, but they were destroyed one after another. At that time, the Blood Wolf Gang was formed. However, at that time, This organization was extremely small, so small that it could be supported by Northern Han, a puppet regime supported by the Liao Kingdom. At that time, Northern Han used the Blood Wolf Regiment to oppress and exploit the common people. Perhaps it was because of the Blood Wolf Regiment that they were the last to be destroyed by the Northern Song dynasty? In short, the Blood Wolf gang would follow whoever had power. After the Song dynasty destroyed the 10 nations, they surrendered to the Song dynasty, recuperated, and began to grow stronger. Later on, when the Liao Kingdom invaded, the Song dynasty could not defend against them and was destroyed. The Blood Wolf group then followed the Liao Kingdom. Later on, when West Xia appeared, they did not hesitate to join the even more powerful West Xia. When the Jin Kingdom destroyed West Xia, the Blood Wolf Regiment did not hesitate to follow the Jin Kingdom. Later on, from the Yuan dynasty to the Great Ming dynasty, the Great Ming dynasty, and the Great Qing dynasty, they could be seen everywhere. Saying that they were slaves of 3 surnames was too little. They were slaves of 8 surnames. Because the Blood Wolf Regiment was powerful, no one would mind having such a powerful force join their camp, hoping that they would work for them. It was said that the famous factory and guard organizations of the Ming dynasty, namely the East Factory, the West Factory, and the Genie Guards, were all led by the talents cultivated by the Blood Wolf gang. When the Ming dynasty fell and the Qing dynasty came to power, the minions of the imperial court trained by the Blood Wolf gang turned into people who stuck to the pole. In layman's terms, they were the flying guillotine that everyone had heard of. Later, for some unknown reason, it was abolished, but the Blood Wolf Regiment still existed. After going through so many dynasties and so many emperors, the Blood Wolf group had not perished. Instead, they had grown stronger and stronger. Their strength was astonishing and terrifying. Their strength had also become almost unstoppable. Until the founding of the Republic of China, when the 2 major spy agencies, the Juntong and the Zhongtong, turned Huaxia upside down, the 2 people in power in the Blood Wolf group had a conflict. Some of the members of the Blood Wolf gang began to do business with the corrupt government. They stole and sold cultural relics, sold arms, laundered money, and became tools for killing. At that time, there was a conflict between the 2 sides, and one side murdered dozens of people from the other side. In order to prevent the murder from being exposed, they dismembered the bodies, sent the victims to the crematorium, and dissolved the bodies in hydrochloric acid. What was even more horrifying was the so-called road squatting. They chose a construction site that was under construction and transported the corpses to the construction site in the middle of the night. By this time all the road workers were off duty, so they put the corpses were placed into the holes dug out on the road, poured with asphalt cement, and then used a road roller to flatten the road. Then they left. The next day, the road workers came to see that someone had finished the work for them. In fact, how many ghosts had been pressed at the bottom of the road forever? Different standpoints, different forces supported by different sides. That was the first time in so many years that the Blood Wolf group had changed, and it was at that time that the Blood Wolf group suffered serious damage. When their own people fought with their own people, it was really killing each other. However, it was fortunate that they were killing each other. Otherwise, no one would be able to control this organization better than them. After the Blood Wolf group was hit hard, all of them honestly recuperated. They also wanted to rely on the current government, but unfortunately, it was no longer the same as before. Now, no one would raise this group of people to deal with the chaos. Now it was a society ruled by law. It was all about governing the country according to law. The existence of the Blood Wolf group no longer had any meaning. To some extent, they were about to become the past, and the past drowned in the long river of history. Therefore, it was difficult for the Blood Wolf group to really grow and replenish over the years. They also wanted to cause some trouble, but unfortunately, Huaxia had the Divine Dragon Brigade and a few other places with elite soldiers. As long as they dared to cause trouble, they believed that they would be destroyed very quickly. Although the Blood Wolf group was already an arrow at the end of its flight, there was a saying that a starved camel was still bigger than a horse. The Blood Wolf group still had its own strong points. That was, although they had few people, none of them were easy to provoke. It was not difficult to invite 8 masters of the supreme power realm from the Blood Wolf regiment. Now, here was the problem. Did the Blood Wolf group still exist? If it did, then where should they go to find it? Although Little Seven knew the existence of the Blood Wolf group, he really did not know how to contact them. When Zhao Zihu heard Little Seven tell him the origin of the Blood Wolf group, he also fell into deep thought. Now, he was afraid that only the Blood Wolf Regiment could provide 8 masters of the Grandmaster realm for him. According to your judgment, where should the Blood Wolf group be? Zhao Zihu frowned and asked. Little Seven thought for a moment. Since the Blood Wolf group was established in the 10 countries of Huaxia and has not left until now, they must still be in Huaxia. Are you so sure? I'm not sure, but my intuition tells me that they must still be in Huaxia. Little Seven said, these people are deeply rooted in Huaxia. If they were willing to leave, they would have scattered in the Republic of China. Then, it is very likely that their people are all over the world. But now, very few people have heard of the Blood Wolf group, so... Zhao Zihu nodded. Little Seven's analysis was reasonable. If the Blood Wolf group stayed in Huaxia, and no one in Huaxia liked them, how did they survive? But thinking about it, the Blood Wolf group had experienced so many dynasties in Huaxia, and so many emperors, he was afraid that they were rich enough to rival a country. If they had money, they probably wouldn't have risked their lives to help others. Then do you think they have money? Will they come out to help others to make money? Zhao Zihu asked. Little Seven could not answer this. He had no idea at all. Forget it, I won't make it difficult for you. Zhao Zihu said, I will arrange for someone to investigate. Young Master Zhao, this matter is really difficult to investigate. Not many people know about the Blood Wolf group. How can we investigate? Little Seven looked helpless. Zhao Zihu thought for a moment. Since someone wants to cooperate with me and wants me to help him, then he should do something for me. If he can't even find out about this, then there's no need for me to cooperate with him. Little Seven was startled. You mean, find black water? Zhao Zihu nodded. Of course, who else can I find? He is the most suitable candidate now. Little Seven did not answer again. Since Zhao Zihu had decided, then he let it be. Anyway, he did not have the ability to do this. If black water was really at that level, it was really not simple. Chapter 2768. 3 days later, the weather on Qingdao took a turn for the better. A strong gust of wind blew away the heavy smog that had lasted for a week. Jie Yi's health had started to improve. Every day, he ate medicinal cuisine with heavy ingredients and drank medicinal soup like water. If he were an ordinary person, he would have been overnourished. Su Yun's internal energy had almost recovered. He was still worried that an accident might happen. After all, he had used his last bit of luck to treat Jie Yi's injuries. Ruan Qingshuang had also made a lot of soups for him to nourish his body. There was ginseng, American ginseng, Korean ginseng, deer antler, deer penis, deer embryo ointment, caterpillar fungus, lingji, gastrodia, snow lotus, wolfberry, saffron. Su Yun fell hot all over. The medicinal effects might have been a little too strong. However, how could Su Yun reject Ruan Qingshuang's concern? Therefore, Su Yun accepted it all. Whether it was ginseng soup or medicinal cuisine, he ate it all. Su Yun had not been idle for the past 3 days. He helped Zhang Hong and Zhang Zixue contact Canada. As Gu Qia had some things to deal with, it would probably take a month for them to reach Asia by sea. However, Su Yun felt uneasy if he let Zhang Hong and Zhang Zixue fly there directly. After all, the 6 great families knew that the Zhang family was not done for yet. There were still people keeping an eye on this matter. Although Zhang Hong and Zhang Zixue had decided to let go of all their hatred and not have the intention to harm others, they still had to be vigilant against others. No one knew if the 6 great families would let them go. Whether or not there was any real peace in Canada, they would have to wait until they got there to find out. Su Yun would not let them go if he was not 100% sure of their safety. The reason why Su Yun let them wait for Gu Qia's arms ship to reach Asia was that if they went back with Gu Qia, they would be 100% safe all the way until they landed. Although Zhang Hong and Zhang Zixue wanted to leave immediately, they held themselves back for Su Yun's sake. They didn't want Su Yun's good intentions to go down the drain. In Zhua Meiyan's words, she really hoped that they would leave as soon as possible. That way, she wouldn't have to live in fear every day. These words were not strange at all coming from Zhua Meiyan's mouth. She had always been like this, with a sharp tongue but a soft heart. The past few days had been quite comfortable, so comfortable that Su Yun felt uncomfortable all over. Every time he had this feeling, he would have to face a new storm. Su Yun had already formed a conditioned reflex. Every time this happened, his sixth sense would be extremely sensitive. Because of this sensitivity, Su Yun had a hard time sleeping at night. It was a cloudless night with a bright moon and sparse stars. Su Yun walked into the courtyard, sat on the rocking chair, and looked at the distant horizon. Unconsciously, he took out a cigarette and lit it. Zhua Meiyan walked out and saw Su Yun smoking. She reached out and took the cigarette from Su Yun's hand. After taking a puff, she said to Su Yun, "Smoking is a little tight these days. Smoke less." "Haven't you already quit?" Su Yun glanced at Zhua Meiyan. Zhua Meiyan put out the cigarette and said, "Yes, I did quit smoking because I know that smoking is harmful to health. Moreover, second-hand smoke is even more harmful. Now that people are starting to pay attention to third-hand cigarettes, I have to quit smoking even more." "Third-hand smoke?" Su Yun was stunned. Zhua Meiyan nodded. "It's the residue left on clothes, walls, furniture, and even hair and skin. The smell of smoke on a smoker's body is the result of third-hand smoke. These residue can last for days, weeks, or even months." "Is it very harmful?" Su Yun asked. "The reaction between the residual nicotine and nitrite can form a powerful carcinogen," Zhua Meiyan said. "It's common knowledge that the gas at home will produce nitrite. That's why I can only quit smoking if I don't want to harm my family's health." "Are you exaggerating?" Su Yun said. "I only smoke occasionally." "People who smoke will always find excuses for themselves," Zhua Meiyan said. "I'm not only doing this for you guys. I'm also planning for the future." Su Yun didn't understand. "What does this have to do with the future? You'll have a child in the future, right?" Zhua Meiyan said. Su Yun was stunned. "I don't care who your child is with. I won't let this child come to any harm," Zhua Meiyan said. "Third-hand smoke is the most basic thing. If you don't believe me, you can look it up yourself." Su Yun broke out in cold sweat. How did the topic change from smoking to having a child? Having a child. Su Yun hadn't thought about it. He didn't dare to think about it. How would he raise a child if he had one? He wasn't prepared at all. Forget it. Su Yun felt that it was better to change the topic to third-hand smoke. How harmful is it? Don't be fooled by the fact that people who smoke these days are aware of the dangers of second-hand smoke. They don't smoke indoors. However, it's meaningless. The nicotine residue will still be carried indoors and spread everywhere. Zhua Meiyan said. This stuff is especially harmful to babies and children. Children's immune systems are weaker and can easily cause respiratory problems and nervous system damage. Some children often cough, and some can't concentrate. Third-hand smoke is the main culprit. Su Yun laughed dryly. He still changed the topic to babies and children. Third-hand smoke is on a smoker's clothes, skin, and hair. Once you come into close contact with it, it will definitely harm your health, Zhua Meiyan said. If you had a child, would you quit smoking for the sake of having a child? Or would you control your intimate contact with your child for the sake of smoking? Su Yun shook his head. Let's not talk about children. This is nothing. We're not talking about children, Zhua Meiyan said. We're talking about third-hand smoke. Would you quit smoking for the sake of your child's intelligence, attention, and health and immune system? Yes. Zhua Meiyan nodded. Okay, you're a qualified parent. I can approve you to have a child. Su Yun was speechless again. Zhua Meiyan saw that Su Yun was speechless and changed the topic. There's a grand auction in Beijing in a few days. Do you want to go and take a look? Charity? Su Yun was stunned. No. Zhua Meiyan shook her head. It said that Ming Qingzhu personally bestowed the golden crown to his trusted eunuchs of the Eastern Intelligence Bureau. Ming Qingzhu was Zhu Di. He was one of the top tyrants of the Ming dynasty. To be able to be called Emperor Yongle, he was not a simple character in history. Although his methods were despicable, the things he did were enough to leave his name in history. He edited the Yongle ceremony, dredged the Grand Canal, and moved the capital to Yanjing. It was not easy to develop the devastated situation after the Jingnan disaster into an era of economic prosperity and national strength. Of course, the Eastern Intelligence Bureau, which was the famous Eastern Intelligence Bureau, was also established by him. This group of eunuchs was above the embroidered uniform guards. They were only responsible to the emperor. Without the approval of the judicial authorities, they could supervise and arrest the subjects at will. But what really attracted Su Yun was not Ming Qingzhu Zhu Di, nor was it the Eastern Intelligence Bureau that committed all kinds of evil. It was the Golden Crown. The underground palace of Dingling had been opened a long time ago. The Golden Crown of Emperor Wanli of the Ming dynasty, the Yishan Golden Crown, had been unearthed a long time ago. It was kept in the Dingling Museum of the Ming dynasty tombs. It was worthy of being called the treasure of the museum. Now, someone actually took out the Ming dynasty golden crown? Besides the emperor, who else dared to wear this golden crown? Wasn't this clearly a fraud? Chapter 2769. Su Yun glanced at Zhua Meiyan. You're not joking, right? Golden crown? From the Ming dynasty? I know. You must think I'm talking about the Yishan Golden Crown. Zhua Meiyan said, It's not the crown of the past emperors. It's another one, but its craftsmanship is really comparable to the Yishan Golden Crown. It's just a bit heavier than the Yishan Golden Crown. It's more than 1,000 grams. The Yishan Golden Crown was only 826 grams. Although 1 gram of gold was worth a few hundred yuan, this golden crown was 200 grams heavier than the Yishan Golden Crown. That was tens of thousands more. But this antique couldn't be ignored, especially when it was worn on the head. Think about it. The Yishan Golden Crown was worn by the emperor. 800 grams on the head was about 1 catty and 6 tails. This was already heavy enough. If it was more than 1 catty, the cervical spondylosis would probably be even more serious. So, this 1,000-gram crown was definitely not as good as the 800-gram crown. What did it mean to wear 2 catties of gold on the head? Have you seen eggs before? If you put 20 eggs on the head, it would be about the same weight. As for the emperor's Yishan Golden Crown, it was about the same weight as 16 or 17 eggs. Who would have something like this to auction? This should be a national cultural relic, right? Su Yun, where did it come from? Who would be so bold to auction it? Hasn't the relevant department intervened? It's not something from underground. Zhua Meiyan said, It's a family heirloom. Su Yun's eyes widened. A family heirloom? Yes, a family heirloom. Zhua Meiyan nodded. So it's a personal property. No one can interfere. This is really a real thing, not a fake. Su Yun still didn't believe it. An expert has appraised it. It's definitely a Ming dynasty golden crown. Zhua Meiyan said with 100% certainty. Su Yun had a look of surprise on his face. Then there's a problem. What problem can there be? Zhua Meiyan also didn't understand what Su Yun was suspecting. You just said that this golden crown was personally given to the head eunuch of the Eastern Intelligence Bureau by Ming Qingzhu. Su Yun, is that right? That's right. Zhua Meiyan nodded. What's a eunuch? Su Yun asked. Zhua Meiyan's face reddened. What are you talking about? In ancient times, the capital was dedicated to serving the emperor, the monarch, and his family. They were called eunuchs. Su Yun said, not all of them were castrated during the pre-Qin dynasty and the Western Han dynasty. From the Eastern Han dynasty onwards, all of them lost their sexual abilities after being castrated and became neither male nor female. Of course I know that eunuchs are eunuchs. Zhua Meiyan said helplessly. The person who wanted to auction this golden crown said that it was a family heirloom. Family heirlooms were left behind by their ancestors. Su Yun said, "This eunuch is a eunuch. How can a eunuch have descendants?" This was an obvious contradiction. Zhua Meiyan was stunned by Su Yun's words. She really hadn't considered this. Can you listen to the main point? The most important thing is this golden crown. Zhua Meiyan said, "As for how this eunuch got his descendants, you don't have to worry about that. He might have been adopted. Why do you have so many questions?" "I just think that there's a problem with the logic," Su Yun said. Zhua Meiyan glared at him. "Let me tell you, whether there's a problem with the logic or not isn't a problem. The problem is that this golden crown is from the Ming dynasty. That's enough." Su Yun grinned. "Then why do you think I bought this thing? I'm keeping it for myself. I don't have that kind of thought. I'm afraid that I'll get cervical spondylosis if I wear such a heavy thing on my head all day." Zhua Meiyan rolled her eyes. "I really have nothing to say to you." "That's true," Su Yun said. "Am I telling the truth? Are you crazy to buy this thing and wear it on your head?" Zhua Meiyan said. "Based on the current price of 200 to 300 yuan per gram, how much would 1,000 grams cost? Even if he wanted to flaunt his wealth, there was no need to flaunt it like this. A tattooed mafia boss who drove a Mercedes-Benz would only wear a necklace of 200 to 300 grams. She had never seen anyone flaunt their wealth while wearing a golden crown. "You want to buy it?" Su Yun was startled. Zhua Meiyan said, "If the price is right, it's not bad to buy it and put it in the film studio to ward off evil spirits." "Can something worn by a eunuch be used to ward off evil spirits?" Su Yun was not interested in this thing at all. "You really don't know what's good for you. I saw that you were bored recently and wanted to find something for you to do." Zhua Meiyan said, "If you don't want to go, then don't go." Su Yun was not interested in this kind of non-charity auction. The money from the sale would go to the person who did it. It was boring. Besides, gold was not valuable now. It cost 200 yuan per gram. 1 kilogram was only 200,000 yuan. Su Yun could spend 500,000 yuan to make something better than this golden crown. Why would he buy this antique? Once this thing was linked to an antique, its value would increase by 1,000 times. "It depends on my mood. Su Yun, if there's nothing to do, I'll go take a look. If there's anything else fun, I'll buy a few things while I'm at it." Zhua Meiyan spread out her hands. "Whatever." Soon after, the two sunk into silence. Su Yun was bored and took out another cigarette. However, due to his misgivings about Zhua Meiyan bringing up the topic of children again, he put it down. "Actually, you don't need to worry about them right now," Zhua Meiyan said. "If they can't take on some things on their own, shoulder some pressure on their own, and resolve some difficulties on their own, then they won't be able to accomplish anything in the future." Su Yun nodded his head. "I understand the reasoning. I just feel that this method is a bit too risky." "This is their own decision," Zhua Meiyan said. "You can't help them for a lifetime." Zhang Hong and Zhang Zixue had to learn to face problems and resolve difficulties on their own sooner or later. It's been a lot more peaceful recently. I believe that no one would be foolish enough to take on trouble at this time, right? Zhua Meiyan said. Su Yun also understood this reasoning, but who knew if there would be someone who wouldn't act according to common sense? "They shouldn't be fools," Su Yun said. "Then let them do it. There's still some time before your little lover from Canada arrives." Zhua Meiyan said, "You can relax and go to Yanjing to relax for a few days. While you're at it, you can also go back to your unit to take a look. Don't let the people over there miss you too much." Su Yun stared blankly. Zhua Meiyan really was worrying about everything for him. "You don't have to worry about everything for me. It's so tiring," Su Yun said. "You have enough work to do on a daily basis, and you still have to worry about me so much." "I'm not tired," Zhua Meiyan said. "I'm just thinking that no matter who it is, if they can give your Su clan a son or a daughter sooner, wouldn't life become more colorful?" Su Yun heard this and broke out in a cold sweat. This really reminded him that he needed to pay attention to his own safety in the future. It's getting late. I'm going back to sleep. Zhuo Meiyan picked up the cigarette on the table. It's best for you to quit smoking now. Even if you don't think about yourself, you have to think about the next generation. To be a qualified parent, you have to make sacrifices. Su Yun was speechless. You can't be selfish in this matter. Zhuo Meiyan said, I'm going to sleep. You should rest early too. Zhuo Meiyan finished speaking and left the courtyard, leaving Su Yun alone to stare blankly at the bright moon in the sky. It was the 15th day of the month, and the moon was very, very round. Su Yun could only see the current peace, but he couldn't see the danger that was brewing thousands of kilometers away. Chapter 2770. Blackwater felt that he had given Zhao Zihu enough time. Zhao Zihu could give him a clear answer. Only then did he appear in front of Zhao Zihu again. As a vigilant and careful person, he wouldn't expose his whereabouts so easily. Even Zhao Zihu would be wary of Blackwater before the cooperation was confirmed. In this world, he only trusted himself. Brother Blackwater, I've been waiting for you for a long time. This time, Zhao Zihu was not as nervous as last time. Blackwater was a little surprised. You've been waiting for me all these days? Didn't you do anything else? Is there anything more important than Brother Blackwater? Zhao Zihu smiled. Am I right? What about the experts I want? Have you found them? Blackwater asked. You should remember that we have a cooperation, right? Or, did young Master Zhao just treat our previous conversation as child's play? Zhao Zihu's face was full of seriousness. Of course not. How could our conversation be a joke? So young Master Zhao has already contacted the person I want and is ready to cooperate with me at any time. Blackwater revealed a smile on his face. Speaking of cooperation, I think that since I've shown my sincerity, Brother Blackwater should also show his sincerity. This way we can trust each other more. Zhao Zihu said, Brother Blackwater, do you agree? Blackwater said seriously, what kind of sincerity do you want me to show? I already have the experts in mind. But whether they will help us or not is up to you. Zhao Zihu's smile was so uncertain. Blackwater's face darkened when he heard this. It seems that Master Zhao doesn't want to cooperate with me sincerely at all. Zhao Zihu hurriedly said, No, it's because I'm sincere that I'm telling you the truth. What do you mean? Blackwater asked. You want 8 experts of the Grandmaster realm. Okay, no problem. I'll find them, I'll pay for them. It doesn't matter. Zhao Zihu said, but what I want are 8 reliable people who can be unified. I don't want 8 people from all over the world who don't know each other. When the time comes and something goes wrong, it will all be a mess. Don't you agree? Blackwater didn't say anything, but he had to admit that it made sense. 8 Grandmaster realm experts from the same sect. Zhao Zihu said, It's too difficult to find. However, I finally thought of it. Blackwater raised his head and looked at Zhao Zihu. A green light flashed in his eyes. Blood Wolf Regiment. Zhao Zihu said, Only the Blood Wolf Regiment meets my requirements. Blackwater was obviously startled. Blood Wolf Group? You should have heard of it, right? Zhao Zihu said. Young Master Zhao, are you joking with me? Where can I find the Blood Wolf Regiment? Blackwater was a little angry. If you want to play with me, then don't blame me for falling out with you. I'm sincere. Zhao Zihu pointed to the sky and said, I swear. Blackwater waved his hand and said, Don't give me that. Let me tell you, whether or not the Blood Wolf Regiment still exists is a problem. Even if they do, they don't lack money. They won't work for others just for a little bit of profit. They have always relied on the most powerful backer, from ancient times until now. Zhao Zihu smiled slightly, but in today's development, the most powerful background is the country. They are no longer needed. So what? Blackwater said. so they will eventually become history abandoned by time. Zhao Zihu said, in the past, they only served the most powerful background. But now, they may change in order to survive. Blackwater still felt that it was unrealistic. He couldn't agree to Zhao Zihu's condition. I don't have time to find the Blood Wolf Regiment. Young Master Zhao, it seems that our cooperation is doomed to fail. Blackwater was ready to leave. He really regretted wasting time on Zhao Zihu. No. Zhao Zihu said, you don't need time to find them. I've already found them for you. Blackwater was stunned. You can find the Blood Wolf Regiment? There will be an auction in Yanjing in a few days. One of the auction items is the Golden Crown of the Ming Dynasty. Zhao Zihu said, it's the Golden Crown that Ming Chengzu personally awarded to the head of the eunuchs in the Eastern Intelligence Bureau. Blackwater was stunned. He had also heard that the Blood Wolf Regiment developed and grew in the Ming Dynasty. At that time, many people in the Eastern Intelligence Bureau, Western Intelligence Bureau, and genie guards were from the Blood Wolf Regiment or were trained by the Blood Wolf Regiment. Although this matter was not verified, everyone in the underground world said so it was not far from the truth. This is not an unearthed cultural relic. It's a family heirloom. Zhao Zihu said, I believe that the person who owns this golden crown must have a close relationship with the Blood Wolf Regiment. Blackwater was full of doubts. If he has a relationship with the Blood Wolf Regiment, will this thing be auctioned? I don't know these things, so I dare not say. I can only guess that maybe the Blood Wolf Regiment is not as glorious as before, so they are not doing well. Zhao Zihu said tentatively. Blackwater was astonished. Wasn't this guess too bold? A starving camel was bigger than a horse. How could the Blood Wolf Regiment, which had done things for so many emperors, not have a strong economic foundation? Wasn't this the same as nonsense? Brother Blackwater, I've done what I should do. Zhao Zihu said, if you are really sincere, you really need to go to Huaxia in person. No matter whether the information I give you is related to the Blood Wolf Regiment or not, you will not go in vain. Blackwater was thinking quickly. If it's true, you are only responsible for the contact. As for the commission, I will be responsible for everything. Zhao Zihu said, is this enough? Blackwater had been thinking about this question these days. That was, where could Zhao Zihu go to find 8 masters of the supreme power realm at one go? He did not expect that Zhao Zihu would think of the answer that he did not expect. In fact, Blackwater was ready to accept the worst condition, that was, Zhao Zihu spent money to transfer 8 masters of the supreme power realm from all over the country. It would be difficult to manage. Everyone was a master and no one was willing to submit to anyone. It was known that there was no first place in literature and no second place in martial arts. People who had reached this level of martial arts were brave and fierce. They would not say that they were worse than others and they all thought that they were the best. That would waste a lot of his energy. But in order to find Su Yun to vent his resentment, Blackwater had to accept it. He could accept it. Now Zhao Zihu gave him a better choice, but this choice required him to make some effort. It sounded like a good opportunity. It would be a pity if he did not give it a try. Brother Blackwater, we are all people who want to achieve great things. Zhao Zihu said, since we are going to do something, we should do the best and most perfect preparation. Do you agree? Blackwater nodded. Of course I agree. Zhao Zihu smiled and stretched out his right hand. In this case, our cooperation is really effective. Is it okay? Child Zhao has said so. If I, Blackwater, run away, won't be a bastard? Blackwater agreed. Zhao Zihu went to the wine cabinet and took out a bottle of fine brandy. He poured 2 glasses and brought them to Blackwater. Then let's have a drink. Happy cooperation. Chapter 2771. This auction was quite famous in Beijing's wealthy circle. It was a small private auction, and there were no more than 30 to 50 people invited. There were plenty of people in Yanjing who could afford to play with antiques. As long as they had some money in their hands, Which family didn't have a few fun things that were worth a few houses worth of money? However, those who could afford to play with antiques in this place were the ones who were truly rich. Perhaps the value of the jade rings on their fingers was similar to that of the Qianlong jade ring. A piece of 10,000-year-old blood jade on their necks could buy a truckload of 200-gram gold necklaces. It was said that some connoisseurs had jade watermelons that were even better than Empress Cixi's burial goods. Therefore, the people who came to this small auction were either rich or respectable. It wasn't easy to get a pass to enter, but even so, Zhuo Meiyan still managed to do it. She felt that letting Su Yun see these new things would definitely help him relax. Recently, Su Yun had been under a lot of pressure. In addition, Zhuo Meiyan also wanted Su Yun to meet someone. This person was the #1 screenwriter for Hua Xia in Zhuo Meiyan's eyes. Su Yun would definitely appreciate him. This person was also passionate about antique collecting. Although he didn't have that much money to spare, he was still willing to take a look at them. Because his social status was high, he was quite popular, so it was possible for him to get an invitation here. However, things were unpredictable, and Zhuo Meiyan's arrangement didn't go as planned. The night before the auction, the screenwriter was hospitalized with a blood clot in his brain. Therefore, Su Yun's plan to make friends in Beijing could only be put aside for now. One could tell how much attention this auction had just by looking at the extravagance. Su Yun, who drove a big Kian, really gave people the feeling of a nouveau riche. However, this word was a bit derogatory when used in this situation. It wasn't elegant at all. Nowadays, when people thought of a Kian, they would think of people with chains around their necks and tattoos on their bodies. Moreover, this car wasn't expensive at all. This place was filled with Rolls-Royce Phantom, Guster, or Bentley Mulsanne and Gallop. They all had chauffeurs. He drove a Bentley Continental as well as the new Aston Martin Lagonda Taraf that cost more than 8 million. Therefore, a Kian was like a grocery cart in front of these cars. However, Su Yun really didn't care about these things. He wasn't the kind of person who had been rich for a few generations. In his eyes, this car was already very good. Not to mention this, even a domestic A6 with 4 circles was pretty good. Everyone had their own ambitions. Zhuo Meiyan and Ruan Qingshuang didn't have time to accompany Su Yun because they couldn't leave Qingdao. Lin Ge also didn't have time because Fang Ya was on vacation, so Su Yun didn't take up his time either. Therefore, only Chou Yun came with Su Yun. After the two got out of the car, they took a pass and entered the private club where the auction was held. The club was magnificent, and some blue and white porcelain vases from the Qing dynasty could even be seen in the public area. There were some antique toys on display in the hall in the corridor. Just based on this, the owner of this club must be a super collector. Su Yun and the others were brought to their location by the person in charge of reception. There was a special auction hall here. The square was surrounded by individual rooms, and there was no place like a hall. Each room was formed independently, and there were people serving tea in each room. The individual rooms at the scene had a total of 2 floors. There were about 26 rooms on the first floor, and only 16 rooms on the second floor. Obviously, the people in the rooms on the second floor had a higher status than those on the first floor. This arrangement was based on strength. After Su Yun was brought into the room, someone immediately brought the tea order. A pot of tea that cost thousands or tens of thousands was not something that ordinary people could afford. However, at this moment, someone shouted. Ninth Master Dongqing was in a good mood today, so he sent a pot of high-quality Longjing tea to every room present. Although Su Yun did not know who Dongqing Jiuyi was, he knew that Hao Shuang was not a simple person. There were 42 rooms, and a pot of Longjing tea here cost 8,688 yuan. He was in a good mood and threw out 400,000 yuan. Was this something that ordinary people could do? Obviously, it was impossible. Beijing is probably the city with the most hidden dragons and crouching tigers on earth. Chou Yun could not help but sigh. I really don't know what kind of business Ninth Master Dongqing does. Su Yun did not stand on ceremony and drank the tea. Who cares? Try this tea first. Ske, the taste is not bad, but if you buy it in Suong, how much do you think it will cost per caddy? Cho Yun had always been in Suong with Feng Chen Sui, so she was definitely not unfamiliar with this Longjing tea. Cho Yun tasted it. I'm afraid it won't be more than 1,000 yuan. That's not bad either, Su Yun said. This caddy of tea could be brewed at least a dozen pots, right? More than 40 rooms only had 4 caddies of tea leaves. The cost of 4,000 yuan could be sold for 100 times the price. This profit. The process of the auction was the same. There was nothing much to say. After the start, the scene was quiet. Other than the auctioneer who could talk, there was no other sound. Su Yun was a little regretful that he did not bring Ma San'er along. If he had come, then he would have really come. Su Yun was not very interested in these things, so he just listened casually. It was not until the appearance of the Ming dynasty's golden crown that his interest was piqued. Thinking about how this eunuch could get a golden crown from the emperor, how much effort did he have to put in? After this golden crown that weighed 1,000 grams was placed on the stage, it immediately caused an uproar. It was really good stuff. It was 25 centimeters tall and 18 centimeters in diameter. The craftsmanship was really at the peak. It had reached the point of perfection. Looking at the crown, the naked eye could not find any joints or solder points. The crown was divided into 3 parts: the vestibule, the rear, and the golden fold. The whole body was extremely delicate, woven with golden silk. The golden silk was woven into the pattern of the lantern. It could be seen how skilled the craftsmen were at that time. The patterns were not only evenly spaced, but they were also uniform. There were no joints and no broken wires. It was impossible to see the ins and outs. It was like a gauze, light and transparent. On the semicircular mound, there were 2 pieces of golden silk net. A pearl hung high between the 2 ears. 2 golden snakes looked at the mound and looked at the pearl. Snakes. If it was a dragon, it would be no different from the 10,000 years winged golden crown. It could be seen that the emperor really valued this eunuch. The emperor himself was a dragon, but he made a snake for this eunuch. It was really not simple. This is really not a simple toy. Su Yun smiled. I'm afraid ordinary people can't afford it. Then you're just looking at it? Cho Yun said. Su Yun nodded. Otherwise, with this money to buy a broken hat, I might as well go to the mountains and build a few Hope primary schools. At least it can solve the problem of hundreds of children going to school. Cho Yun smiled. She liked Su Yun's straightforward manner. When the waiter in their room heard Su Yun's words, there was no expression on his face. He was probably thinking, how did this kind of person come into this place? Chapter 2772. The golden crown caused the entire place to be rather quiet. Presumably, these rich people of high society were also looking forward to the bidding of this item. This Ming dynasty golden crown was personally bestowed by Ming Chengzu Zhu Di to his trusted eunuchs of the Eastern Intelligence Bureau. The auctioneer began. This golden crown really caused everyone's eyes to light up. The Ming dynasty had 2 emperors that people respected. One was Zhu Yuanzhang, the founder of the Ming dynasty. Zhu Di was also not an ordinary person. After the War of Jingnan, the Ming dynasty was also very desolate. However, he was able to create the Yongle Age of Prosperity. This emperor who spent his entire life on the battlefield was not much worse than Zhu Yuanzhang. Zhang He's expedition to the west was Zhu Yuanzhang's achievement. If it wasn't for the huge expenditure and the Ming dynasty being conservative, where would there be Columbus? The first Columbus would be the Ming dynasty's navigator, and the first colonial empire would be the Ming dynasty. The praise for Ming Chengzu and the Yongle Age of Prosperity was to raise the value of this golden crown. The auctioneer finally shifted the topic back to the price. However, when the price came out, the crowd was a bit annoyed. The starting price of this golden crown is 500 million. Every increment starts at 50 million. 500 million? A golden crown. Was it worth it or not? No one could say for sure. This was an auction, and the starting price was already so high. How could people pay 500 million? You want us to bid for a golden crown that was once worn by a eunuch? Dongqing Jiu Yi, who was in the middle room of the second floor, suddenly spoke. Everyone's attention was focused on Jiu Yi. Are you joking? Jiu Yi was clearly a bit impatient. This toy is not Ming Chengzu's golden crown. If it was worn by the emperor, even if you bid 1 billion, I would still dare to light a lantern. A crown that was once worn by a eunuch dares to bid such a price? Nonsense. Jiu Yi was angry. This was something that the auction organizer did not expect. The price was set by the seller. Moreover, this was really a top-quality item from the Ming dynasty, and it was personally bestowed by the emperor. This price was really not low, right? Jiu Yi had already said such words. Who would be willing to be a fool and bid such a high price? Just the words "a hat worn by eunuchs" had negated the value of this antique national treasure. Master Zhou's words were really powerful in the circle. No one had expected that just because of Lord Zhou's words, this golden crown would not be auctioned. No one cared about it. Su Yun, who originally wanted to watch a good show, also felt bored, so he motioned for Chou Yun to leave with him first. There was no point in continuing to stay here. Otherwise, there would be more people later. When they went out, they might be looked down upon because they were driving a broken Kian. As the auction continued, Su Yun and Chou Yun quickly left the club. There was another reason why Su Yun couldn't sit still. The Dragon Brigade's training was about to end, and he wanted to rush over. He really needed to tell Chong Mo and the others about this matter. A golden crown that could have been used as a stabilizing item was not auctioned off just like that. As for the other small items, Master Nine did not fancy them at all. The atmosphere at the scene was getting lower and lower. After the auction ended, Master Zhou still left in a huff. It was all because the messenger didn't spread the news clearly, saying that it was some Ming Chengzu's golden crown. Bull ***. If he knew that this was a gift from Ming Chengzu to a eunuch, he wouldn't have participated even if it was a diamond crown. After everything ended, both the buyer and seller were happy and sad. The seller of this golden crown was probably the most disappointed person. That damn old Zhou, how dare he ruin his business? He firmly believed that if it wasn't for that old bastard's words, his golden crown would definitely be sold. It might not be sold for 1 billion or 800 million, but there would definitely be people who could afford it. After all the backstage procedures were completed, this person and 2 attendants took the golden crown and prepared to leave. Such a valuable item, and the 3 of them dared to put it in the car. How much confidence did they have to dare to do so? Friend, I wonder if I can disturb you for a few minutes. Blackwater's appearance obviously made the 3 of them instantly alert. This was a private passage at the back of the club. Outsiders were not allowed to enter. Who are you? The leading middle-aged man's eyes were like thunder, staring directly at Blackwater. Blackwater smiled slightly. It doesn't matter who I am. What matters is how much benefit I can bring to you. What do you think? The middle-aged man's face showed a touch of doubt. What do you want to do? Please rest assured, I have no interest in the golden crown in your car. Blackwater continued. At this time, the 2 attendants behind the middle-aged man began to surround Blackwater. Seeing this, Blackwater sensibly raised his hands. No, I have no evil intentions. Even if I'm ignorant, I won't be stupid enough to provoke the Blood Wolf group alone. Hearing Blackwater's words, the middle-aged man's face was full of surprise. He dared to say these 3 words and found him. It was really unbelievable. The other 2 people's faces were also full of surprise, and their eyes fell on the leader. You're really brave. You have some strength. The middle-aged man said. Thank you for thinking so highly of me. Blackwater said, let's not talk in riddles. My name is Blackwater. Although my reputation in the underground world is not good, I'm still a little famous. Today I'm just here to meet you. I have a business to talk about. If you're interested, I'll wait for you in the tea pavilion of the Wangfu Hotel at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. The middle-aged man narrowed his eyes and looked up and down at Blackwater. He seemed to have heard of this name. What business? Blackwater knew that since the other party had spoken, it meant that they were interested. And Blackwater could also judge that they must be from the Blood Wolf group since they didn't deny it. Since they came out to auction the Golden Crown, it meant that they needed money. This series of signs gave Blackwater great hope and expectation. Now they were interested in talking to him. This matter was not far from the truth. As long as the money was in place, everything was negotiable. I'm afraid you're not interested in the business. What you're interested in is benefits. Blackwater smiled. Maybe it can give you more benefits than the Golden Crown in the car. When Blackwater finished speaking, the other party's face changed. I don't know what you're thinking, Blackwater finally said. Tomorrow afternoon at the tea pavilion of the Wangfu Hotel at 3 o'clock. I'll be waiting. After saying this, Blackwater quickly left the scene. The three people looked at each other. First, they were curious about what the other party had done. Second, they were looking forward to such huge benefits. More benefits than the Golden Crown? They had already bid 500 million for a Golden Crown. If there were more benefits than the Golden Crown, how much would that be? If they could get so much money, why would they sell the Golden Crown? It was not suitable at all. Go, get in the car. The middle-aged man ordered. We'll talk about it when we get back. Be careful on the road. That man is not simple. We must not underestimate him. Yes, I understand. After the three people got in the car, they quickly left the back door of the private club with the Golden Crown. They were disappointed that they didn't sell it, but today's experience made them feel better. Chapter 2773. Thinking about the Blood Wolf Regiment's many years of rough and tumble experience, they had been glorious until the Republic of China. But in today's modern and peaceful society, they had been in decline for many years. For so many years, the Blood Wolf Regiment, which had been unwilling to compromise, had been suffering for a long time. Accustomed to that kind of glorious days, the huge expenses of the Blood Wolf Regiment made the whole organization difficult. However, they relied on the rewards given by the previous emperors. They could exchange it for a year's worth of expenses, and it allowed them to live comfortably. The Blood Wolf Regiment, which could not get the strongest support, became more and more deserted. After the founding of Huaxia, they had been living and existing in this way. After so many years, there was always a time when the old foundation was empty. So, there was this auction of the Golden Crown. Through this matter, Blackwater could assert that the Blood Wolf Regiment was indeed an arrow at the end of its flight. In layman's terms, it was like a grasshopper in winter, which could not jump for more than a few days. As long as the problem of money was solved, the Blood Wolf Regiment would face a complete collapse. The masters of the Blood Wolf Regiment would also be divided. The masters would not starve to death wherever they went, but there was really no one in the world who would be full enough to raise the Blood Wolf Regiment. First, it was great to have one or two masters around. Second, it was really not affordable for ordinary people. Once the masters of the Blood Wolf Regiment needed to earn a living, it would directly collapse. As long as one person went out, it would inevitably lead to the separation. The Blood Wolf Regiment would disappear forever. The current leader naturally would not let the Blood Wolf Regiment be destroyed in his hands. Therefore, even if he had to sell the Golden Crown, he had to get the money to keep the Blood Wolf group. At least, he had to keep them while he was still alive. That way, he would be able to face the ancestors of the Blood Wolf group after he died. The man who closed his eyes and meditated in the car was called Wen Xiuping. He was the current 1000/ of the Blood Wolf Regiment. This title was second only to the massacre title of the leader of the Blood Wolf Regiment. According to the rules of the Blood Wolf Regiment in the past, it was impossible to get the title of 1000/ without killing 1,000 people. But now it was different from the past. The title and reward were based on seniority and contribution to the Blood Wolf Regiment. In today's peaceful society, there was no such thing as slaughtering 1,000 people. It was even more impossible for something like a massacre to take place. In the past, every leader of the Blood Wolf Regiment had to do something like massacring a city. Wan Xiaoping's face didn't look good. Tu Cheng, this matter. I'm afraid it's not going to work. What do you mean? Xing Pengjing was stunned. You're saying that no one wants this golden crown. This was bestowed by the emperor. I'm sorry, Tu Cheng. Wan Xiaoping said, but this is the truth. Xing Pengjing's face was filled with rage. Outrageous. Are people blind nowadays? This is all because of a sentence from the 9th master of the East City. He said that our golden crown was worn by eunuchs, not the emperor, so it's worthless. When Xiaoping said, then, it led to a situation where no one cares about it. 9th master of the East City? Xing Pengjing scolded angrily and slammed his fist on the small rosewood tea table. This old bastard has no enmity with me. Why does he want to ruin my business? This. Wan Xiaoping didn't know how to explain. Xing Pengjing's face was filled with murderous intent. Well, if 9th master of the East City wants to make things difficult for me, then I'll let him experience it. Wan Xiaoping didn't say a word. Wan Xiaoping, I order you to arrange this matter immediately. I want to see 9th master's head in 3 days. Xing Pengjing had always been a man of his words. Tu Cheng, at this juncture, it's really inappropriate for us to have a conflict with 9th master of the East City. Wan Xiaoping advised. Xing Pengjing glared at him. Then tell me what I should do now. We need money. Do you understand? When Xing Pengjing vented his anger on Wan Xiaoping still didn't say a word. He knew Tu Cheng too well, just like Xing Pengjing knew him too well. When Xing Pengjing's anger dissipated a little, Wan Xiaoping said, at the end of the auction, I met a man called Blackwater. His strength is not bad. Xing Pengjing put away his anger and frowned. He said that we can cooperate with him. The benefits we can get are more than our golden crown. Cooperate with what? Xing Pengjing didn't wait for Wan Xiaoping to finish his words and interrupted him directly. It could be seen that Xing Pengjing's desire for money was quite huge and intense. Wan Xiaoping adjusted the speed of his speech. He didn't say it clearly. He just told me that if we want to cooperate with him, we have to go to the tea-tasting pavilion of Wang Fu Hotel at 3:30 tomorrow afternoon. He will wait for us there. Xing Pengjing was silent for a while. What could be such a huge benefit? Chapter 2774. After a few cups of tea, the sandalwood was basically burned out. Xing Pengjing turned his gaze to Wan Xiaoping again. Xiaoping, what do you think about this? Xing Pengjing said lightly, other than you, there is no one around me who can help me make a decision. Massacre the city. I'm afraid you really need to make a decision. Wan Xiaoping didn't dare to speak recklessly. It's very important. Xing Pengjing glared. You are thousand/ after all. If you don't help me make a decision, who will? Wan Xiaoping was really in a difficult position. This was indeed not something he could make a decision about. Xing Pengjing didn't dare to make a decision easily. How could he make a conclusion? If there was trouble, he would be the scapegoat. Forget it. Xing Pengjing said, it is indeed a little difficult for you to make the decision. Since the other party found you and was able to identify you, it is obvious that they came prepared and are not ordinary people. There is no harm in meeting them for a while. Even if the business is not successful, one more friend is one more way out. Wan Xiaoping nodded. I'm afraid that is the only way now. Well, tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock, you and I will go to the appointment. Xing Pengjing quickly made a decision. Wan Xiaoping had no objection to this decision. No matter what, the most important thing was to give his brothers an answer. According to the current expenses of the Blood Wolf Group, if they didn't get money, it was likely that they would really disband. Now, there were already people who wanted to fly alone to pursue what they wanted to pursue. After all, everyone had their own ambitions. If there was nothing to gain here, they really couldn't stay. Over the years, people who came to the Blood Wolf Group came for the reputation, but after arriving, they found that it was completely different from what they imagined. Without enough money, the Blood Wolf gang would be completely annihilated in the hands of their generation even before the current generation of people left. Xing Pengjing urgently needed a large sum of money to strengthen the Blood Wolf group. If there was no backing for them, they had to rely on themselves to solve all the problems, change the development path of the Blood Wolf group for so many years, and walk their own path of reform. How could the path of reform be so easy? Without a large amount of money as capital, how could they talk about reform? Wan Xiaoping understood Xing Pengjing's thoughts. He also knew that they needed money. It could even be said that even if there were 2 or 3 more golden crowns in the Ming dynasty, the money might not be enough for them to use. Now, other than going to the appointment and finding out what the other party wanted him to do, there was really no other way. As long as the stakes were high enough, Wan Xiaoping believed that there was nothing that Tu Cheng could not do. How could a person who had been forced into a desperate situation easily give up a chance to change? After Su Yun and Chou Yun arrived at the Dragon Brigade, someone immediately led Chou Yun to the reception area to rest, while Su Yun went to Wan Guangxiao's office. When he appeared at the door of Wan Guangxiao's office, he saw that Wan Guangxiao was discussing something with Wang Yi. Seeing Su Yun appear, the two of them were slightly surprised. "Brat, why did you come so suddenly?" Wan Guangxiao asked. "You don't visit a temple without a reason, right?" Wang Yi chuckled, seemingly very satisfied with his favorite disciple. It must be known that Su Yun's strength had already far surpassed Wang Yi's. This was what Wang Yi wanted to see the most. When Wang Yi saw Su Yun in the past, he knew that this brat's foundation was special. As long as he had the opportunity to break through that bottleneck, his path of cultivation would be unstoppable. Now that it was true, and because of Guagua, Su Yun's leaps and bounds of improvement made Wang Yi feel that it was inconceivable. If this continued, Su Yun might be able to surpass Wan Guangxiao before the age of 30. Perhaps, he might even be able to break through to the profound sky realm before the age of 30. It must be known that the last person to do this was Su Chen. There was a good saying, "Dragons give birth to dragons, phoenixes give birth to phoenixes, and the son of a mouse can dig holes." Since Su Chen was like this, as the son of this legend, why couldn't Su Yun do it? Although all of this was unknown, Wan Guangxiao and Wang Yi were still very confident in Su Yun. "If I have nothing to do, can't I come back to see you two elders?" Su Yun walked into the office with a smile, and saluted the two again. "Greetings, Chief. Yen Long reporting." Okay, this isn't a training ground. Don't pretend in my office. Find a place to sit." Wan Guangxiao said, "Drink your water and pour it yourself." Su Yun quickly picked up a thermos and filled Wan Guangxiao and Wang Yi's teacups with water. Of course, he didn't stand on ceremony. He found Wan Guangxiao's good tea, grabbed a handful, and made himself a cup. Wan Guangxiao's heart ached when he saw this. "Aren't you afraid that you won't be able to sleep after drinking so much tea? This is a good time to refresh myself." Su Yun grinned. "Prodigal, this tea is more than 700 yuan per catty." Wan Guangxiao said, "I can't bear to drink it myself. I only make a cup for your old man, Wang Yi, when he comes." "Chief, don't be so stingy." "Su Yun, I just finished 8,800 yuan of Longjing tea. Let me taste your tea and see if it's worth 700 yuan. Wan Guangxiao was stunned. "You didn't go to the auction, did you?" Su Yun was stunned. "Oh, Chief, you know about it too? You're not bad, kid. You're quite capable." Wan Guangxiao said, "There aren't many places that dare to sell a pot of Longjing tea for 8,800 yuan, even in Beijing. How can I not guess? I heard that no one is allowed to go to the auction today if they don't have a net worth of 10 billion yuan. You're really something." Su Yun waved his hand. "Zhuo Meiyan helped me get the quota." "Don't be humble, no one is borrowing money from you, and no one is asking you to fund our team." Wan Guangxiao said, "You're rich now, kid. Don't come empty-handed next time. I won't accept gifts from others, but if you don't bring a few catties of good tea, I won't let you enter my office." Wang Yi chimed in, don't forget about my share. Su Yun was happy. Alright, I'll hire a truck and pack all the tea leaves in our team. They'll definitely be more expensive than these tea leaves. Keep bragging. Wan Guangxiao picked up his teacup. Try my 700 yuan tea leaves first. Su Yun took a sip, and it wasn't any worse than the 8,800 yuan pot of Longjing tea he drank. Good tea. It can be sold for 10,000 yuan at the club. Kid, you know your stuff. Wan Guangxiao was happy. Wang Yi said, what did you see at the auction? What rare items did you buy? Let us take a look. This kid is doing well. He's even started to play with antiques. Wan Guangxiao joked. He's much better than us. I don't even have a modern Jingdezhen porcelain bottle at home. Su Yun waved his hand. I just went to take a look and relax. I didn't buy anything. I don't have money. What is it that you can't afford? Wang Yi didn't believe him. Su Yun, a Song Dynasty black glazed obsidian heavens eye tea bowl. It's interesting, but the starting price is in the tens of millions. I'm not a tycoon who spends 200 million yuan on a chicken teacup. I definitely won't be willing to buy it. What else? The other one is a Ming Dynasty golden crown. It's said that it was given to the head eunuch of the Eastern faction by the Ming Dynasty's emperor. Su Yun. The asking price is even more ridiculous. It's 500 million yuan. Even the ninth master of the Eastern faction said that it wasn't worth it. Chapter 2775. The Golden Crown of the Ming Dynasty? Wan Guangxiao looked very surprised. This is really a treasure. Well, it is indeed a treasure. Su Yun said, but this is a private family heirloom. If it wasn't dug up, it probably wouldn't be given to the country. Wang Yi was also surprised. The emperor gave it to the eunuchs. Can the eunuchs have family heirlooms? Was this child born before entering the palace? Maybe this is the case. Su Yun nodded. He hadn't been able to figure this out either. Now that Wang Yi had said this, he was enlightened. Wan Guangxiao's face was full of doubts. I always feel that there is something wrong with this matter. What's wrong? Su Yun was stunned. It was given to the eunuchs of the East Factory, and then it has been passed down until now. Who has such great ability? Wan Guangxiao said. Hearing Wan Guangxiao's words, Wang Yi also nodded frequently. Yes, the Ming dynasty was destroyed. After the Qing dynasty entered the pass, then the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom and the Eight-Nation Alliance, and then the anti-Japanese war in the Republic of China. It is really a miracle that it can be preserved during this period. Su Yun said, there must be a capable person. If there is no ability, it can't be preserved. Wan Guangxiao pondered for a while and suddenly realized. Is it the Blood Wolf Regiment? Wang Yi was shocked, but thinking about it carefully, it was really possible. The Blood Wolf Regiment was indeed an organization that had been passed down for a long time. There was also a legend that Ming Chengzu saw their ability and let them establish the East Factory. But the people of the Blood Wolf Regiment were eunuchs. Impossible. This might not be so reliable. The Blood Wolf Regiment. Su Yun was stunned. He had also heard of it. Is it an organization where all the masters above the Guru realm are at the peak of the Guru realm? Isn't there no news about it for a long time? There was no news about it for a long time. But when the Ming Dynasty Golden Crown was taken out, didn't it seem to be a little credible? That's possible. Wang Yi said, but if the people of the Blood Wolf Regiment have reached the point of selling golden crowns, then they are really in danger. Wan Guangxiao nodded. It really might be them. Back then, they wanted to seek refuge with the country, but the country didn't want them. The country didn't care about what they did, and they weren't dutiful people. Su Yun was curious. Chief, you've met the Blood Wolf gang before? Yes. Wan Guangxiao nodded. That was a long time ago. The Blood Wolf gang has always been an organization that relied on a powerful force as a backer to recuperate and grow. When Huaxia was founded and entered a peaceful society ruled by law, they completely lost their place. Su Yun nodded. So they came to seek refuge with me, but I rejected them, Wan Guangxiao said. Because they don't know how to do anything other than killing. Then how did they survive? Su Yun was puzzled. The Blood Wolf Regiment had a prototype when it was in the 10 nations. After so many years, with so many generations of emperors and monarchs, even the rewards are enough for them to squander, Wan Guangxiao said. No matter how big the family business is, it can't withstand failure, Wang Yi added. Su Yun couldn't help but nod. What he said was right. That was easy to understand. When they squandered until they had no money, they started to sell these rewards, and this golden crown was one of them. That's really hard on them. Su Yun shook his head. It's really not easy for them to get to this point. They should just go back and destroy themselves. It's a pity that an organization with so many top experts has come to this point, Wan Guangxiao said. Su Yun smiled. That's true. If there's a place where Huaxia can send out 8 to 10 guru realm experts in one go, apart from us, I'm afraid they're the only ones who can do that, right? Don't forget that there's still your stepmother. Wan Guangxiao smiled bitterly and said, she may not have 8 to 10 guru realm experts under her, but she can directly arrange for 5 divine-level experts who are close to the heavenly mystic realm. Su Yun was stunned. He could only say that his stepmother was a psychopath who shouldn't be arranged as a normal person. It's good that the Blood Wolf Regiment has really reached the end of their road. Wang Yi said, no matter what, they can be considered a threat. Wan Guangxiao also nodded. Yes, they can indeed be considered a threat. Then it's a good thing that he didn't sell his golden crown. Su Yun laughed. You don't say. Zuomeyan really wanted that golden crown to ward off evil spirits. Wan Guangxiao grinned. Something worn by eunuchs can ward off evil spirits? Su Yun couldn't help but hold his stomach. Chief, that Dong Cheng Jiu Ye's personality is really similar to yours. The way he speaks is also like that. Even Dong Cheng Jiu Yi went, it seems that the influence of this golden crown is really not small. Wan Guangxiao said, it's just that the asking price is really a bit outrageous. It serves him right that he can't sell it. What's the background of Dong Cheng Jiu Yi? Su Yun asked. Wan Guangxiao said, his background is really big. He really doesn't watch his words. He's not afraid of offending people. Wang Yi said, although the main reason why no one is interested in this golden crown is because the price is too high, his words can easily pull the spearhead to himself. But he's not afraid. Wan Guangxiao said, who doesn't know that Dong Cheng Jiu Yi has 3 masters around him. Ordinary people can't get close to him. Wang Yi nodded. That's true. But what if this golden crown is really sold by the Blood Wolf Regiment? Su Yun said, if the Blood Wolf Regiment wants to take revenge, more than a dozen masters will come out at once. Can the 3 masters around Jiu Yi hold on? Hearing Su Yun's words, Wan Guangxiao and Wang Yi couldn't help but break out in cold sweat for Dong Cheng Laojiu. This is really a bit dangerous. Wan Guangxiao said, I hope this has nothing to do with the Blood Wolf Regiment. If it has something to do with it, we can only pray that Jiu Yi is lucky. Wang Yi shook his head and said worriedly, will something really happen? Wan Guangxiao laughed. What can happen? This is Yanjing City. What kind of place was Yanjing City? Even if it was the Blood Wolf Regiment, they had to be careful. Whoever dared to cause trouble would not have a good ending. Listening to what you said, the Blood Wolf Regiment is really so mysterious. Su Yun chuckled. I'm really curious if I'll have the chance to exchange blows with the Blood Wolf Pack. I think you're just tired of your life, Wang Yi said. Don't you feel comfortable if you don't provoke some tough stubble? Su Yun said helplessly, I don't know if it's become a habit for me now. Once I have a few days of ease, I feel uncomfortable in my heart. I always feel that something is missing. You're just asking for it, Wan Guangxiao said. Wang Yi also pointed to Su Yun. You're indeed asking for it. You really should let you live a more tiring life. You don't say. Su Yun said, I really like the stimulation of constant challenges. The more peaceful it is, the more I feel bored. Then you should hurry up and find a girl to marry and give birth to a monkey or something. Wan Guangxiao said, at that time, you'll feel energetic. Su Yun almost spat out the tea in his mouth. This old chief is really too much. He's just like Zhua Meiyan, worrying for nothing. Okay, don't talk nonsense with us two old things. Go and see Yu Maren. Wang Yi said, I think this girl is still very good. Although your other girls are also very good, you can't forget this childhood sweetheart. Don't forget a poor friend, don't leave the hall for a wife. After Wan Guangxiao finished speaking, he thought that the words he used were wrong, but he didn't know how to change it. He waved his hand impatiently and said to Su Yun, hurry up and get out of here. Don't be an eyesore. Go and find Yu Maren. After Su Yun left, Wan Guangxiao said, it should be childhood sweetheart, don't forget each other. The words you used just now. At this age, you suddenly feel that you're uncultured? After Wang Yi finished speaking, the two laughed. Chapter 2776. Su Yun's sudden appearance really surprised Yu Maren. Why are you back? Did the chief have some urgent mission again? But why didn't I hear about it? Is it dangerous? If the chief suddenly gave you a mission, it must be very dangerous. By the way, how did you come back? When did you come back? Yu Maren had too many things to ask after seeing Su Yun, so she couldn't stop once she opened her mouth. I didn't have a mission. I just wanted to come back and take a look. Su Yun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Then I came back to take a look. Yu Maren really didn't dare to believe it. If it wasn't something urgent, would you have time to come back and take a look? You really just wanted to take a look? Su Yun nodded seriously. Yes, I really just wanted to take a look. Hearing Yu Maren say this, he felt very sorry for her. He believed that Yu Maren was more conflicted than anyone else. Usually, she missed Su Yun and hoped that he would come back. But when she thought that Su Yun must be back for something dangerous, she didn't want him to appear in front of her. Only she knew how tormenting this kind of conflict was in her heart. Every time Yu Maren saw Su Yun, she felt like ice and fire. At first, she was happy and excited, followed by fear and grievance. It was the same this time. Yu Maren experienced the same feeling after seeing Su Yun. Don't lie to me. It'll be good if you really just want to take a look. Yu Maren said carefully, as if this was a dream and she would wake up if she wasn't careful. At this time, the bell rang to signal the end of the training. Su Yun knew that his brothers must be finished and ready to come back for dinner. It's rare for you to come back and take a look. You must miss them. Let's go to the cafeteria and wait for them. Yu Maren was always so considerate. Su Yun listened to her arrangements. After all, he did not need to worry about Cho Yun. Someone would bring her food in a while. Cho Yun could understand the arrangement of the Dragon Brigade. After all, she was an outsider. It wasn't good for her to wander around with Su Yun. After all, this was a secret place. Being able to arrange for her to come in was already a special treatment given to her because of Su Yun's identity. Therefore, Cho Yun would rest quietly in the reception room. Moreover, the haze in Yanjing seemed to be more mellow than the haze in Qingdao. It was better not to go out and breathe. I'm really not convinced by what you did today. If you have the ability, let's compete again next time. Hua Xiaolu walked into the cafeteria, still feeling indignant. Today's training of the 10 skills competition, he was slower than Qian Feng by less than 2 seconds. Qian Feng clicked his tongue. You won't be able to beat me next time either. Let me tell you, I've been suppressing my time every time. I'm just 1 second faster than you. I'll piss you off. Enough, you two. It's not like you're fighting for first or second place. How dare you say that here? Han Zhan said with a cold face. The two disagreed and did not reply. Just as the brothers of the Dragon Fury team arrived at the cafeteria one after another, they noticed that there were already people eating in the corner. With a glance, they saw Yu Meiren and a young man sitting with his back facing them. This brat had put the hood of his shirt on his head and did not turn his head. Who was it? How dare he? Yu Meiren was their brother Yun's woman. Didn't he know? Hey! I say, who is that over there? Chen Feng was the first to shout out. Yu Meiren was about to speak when Su Yun gestured for her to keep quiet. He did it on purpose. Yu Meiren smiled helplessly. They were all adults, but they were still behaving like children. This brat is still not speaking. Chen Feng glared at him. Sister Yu, who is this? With that, Chen Feng and the other nosy guys walked forward. Since Su Yun did not let her speak, Yu Meiren could only shrug her shoulders helplessly. This time, it didn't matter. Chen Feng and the rest misunderstood at that time. They thought that it was that blind person who insisted on inviting Beauty Yu over for a meal. Beauty Yu had no choice but to eat with this fellow. No one would be able to tolerate that. Sister Yu, do you think anyone can ask you out for a meal? Brat, come here. Which department are you from? Hua Xiaolu came forward. Let me see who you are. Turn your head around. Su Yun still ignored him. As soon as Chen Feng called out, a few people immediately surrounded him. Although Han Zhan, Hua Leitang, and the other mature men did not support them looking for trouble, they did not say anything to stop them. After all, this matter involved Yu Meiren. They had to figure it out. Chen Feng slapped Su Yun's shoulder. Just as he was about to exert force to show his strength, Su Yun moved. In an instant, the figure spun around like a bolt of lightning and grabbed Chen Feng's right arm with a backhand grab. Chen Feng's reaction was not slow. He raised his leg to kick Su Yun's waist. However, the moment he raised his leg, the tip of Su Yun's shoe hit his calf bone. He felt a sharp pain. Chen Feng, who felt that he was at a disadvantage, became anxious. He really wanted to use his full strength. Boss! Hua Xiaolu and the others suddenly shouted in unison. Chen Feng shuddered when he heard that. Only then did he look up. It's really Su Yun. Boss! Why is it you? Chen Feng's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. This time, he had no temper at all. He was originally frowning and glaring, but in an instant, he was as happy as a flower. Who else could it be? Su Yun let go of Chen Feng. You are too careless. How can you bully others with such skills? Chen Feng smiled cheekily. If I knew it was boss, I would not dare to do anything. I knew it. Who dares to ask our sister Yu out for a meal? Hua Xiaolu also became a little flower. All right. You bunch of rascals. You still want to bully others with your numbers? If it's not me, what else do you want to do to them? Su Yun smiled and patted their shoulders. Good. All of you have improved a lot. We will definitely chop him into pieces. We will not allow him to harass Sister Yu. This group of bastards really had sweet mouths. Each one of them was better than the other at flattering. Boss, why are you here? Han Zhan is also surprised. He did not hear anything. I missed all of you, so I came back to take a look. Su Yun gestured for everyone to sit down. Yu Meiren smiled and looked at everyone surrounding them. These rascals have been keeping a close eye on her. Whenever someone from the other teams wants to talk to her, it's like they are interrogating a criminal. Also, they will emphasize one thing 10,000 times. She is Su Yun's woman. Although Beauty Yu said that she didn't want them to mess around, she still enjoyed it in her heart. She liked this title. Boss, how are things on Qingdao? Hua Leitang is a serious person. He directly asked about the actual situation. Su Yun nodded. There's nothing else. I've taken care of everything. That's good. If those rascals still dare to cause trouble, I will bring my brothers over and cripple them. Chen Feng said indignantly. I think you want to be punished. Han Zhan is speechless at Chen Feng's unstable personality. Yu Meiren smiled. All right. You guys take your time. I am almost done eating. I still need to tidy up my room. Sister Yu, don't do that. Let's chat for a while more. Hua Xiaolu said. Chen Feng punched Hua Xiaolu. Are you stupid? Didn't you hear Sister Yu say that she needs to tidy up her room? Boss still needs to go back and rest later. If you two dare to talk nonsense again, don't ask me to prescribe medicine for you if you get injured in the future. Yu Meiren glared at them. Chen Feng felt wronged. I am just telling the truth. Chapter 2777. Your mouths are still asking for it. Su Yun, the next time you get injured, I'll get the medical team to sew your mouths up. That won't do. If my mouth is sewn up, I won't be able to eat meat. Chen Feng shook his head vigorously. Yu Meiren didn't have a big appetite, so she was full after eating a little. When she said she was going to leave, she really meant it. Since Su Yun was back, she really should go back and tidy up. After all, Su Yun didn't have a dormitory in the Dragon Brigade anymore. Her room was Su Yun's room. Because she had been researching a Chinese medicine formula that could quickly recover muscle soreness, time was tight. She didn't have much to do since she was alone, so she spent all her time researching the medicine. As a result, Yu Meiren only went back to her room at night and when she rested in the afternoon, so she didn't have much time to tidy up. The room was a little messy, and there were some clothes that hadn't been washed. This was definitely not her style. If it weren't for the fact that she had more than 16 hours of work every day, she wouldn't be so dirty. Although this was a special situation that caused the room to be a little messy, Yu Meiren still didn't want Su Yun to see it. Yu Meiren wasn't worried that Su Yun would say that she was lazy or that she didn't know how to tidy up. Instead, she knew too well that Su Yun knew her too well. Su Yun could guess that she was too busy with work, so she didn't have time to tidy up. Because of this, she couldn't let Su Yun see it. If that happened, Su Yun would be worried. Su Yun was already very busy. He had a lot of things to do and was under a lot of pressure. Yu Meiren definitely couldn't allow her to distract Su Yun. If that happened, she would feel bad. No matter what, she would never let Su Yun be distracted because of her. Yu Meiren wouldn't say these things out loud. She would only do everything for Su Yun in silence. Even if Su Yun didn't know about it, she would still do it willingly. The small details could be magnified and looked at again. That was often the true greatness. Yu Meiren's selfless love was a kind of greatness, a greatness that could never be described with words. Everyone had a selfless side to them. Some did it for family, some for love, and some for friendship. Yu Meiren said goodbye to everyone, and everyone's attention was completely focused on Su Yun. Boss, are you sure you're fine this time? Han Zhan didn't quite believe it. I'm really fine, Su Yun said. Brother, you have improved. You even know to come back and visit Sister Yu. You should be praised. Chen Feng gave him a thumbs up. Are you not leaving tonight? We have a training session tonight. Do you want to come with us? Or? It's not easy for boss to come back. Of course, he has to accompany Sister Yu. Hua Xiaolu said, What training session? That's right, that's right. Everyone chimed in. To be honest, Su Yun also wanted to stay for the night. This was human nature. After all, his relationship with Yu Meiren had already been set. He often couldn't be by her side. Su Yun had let her down. But this time, he didn't come alone. Cho Yun was with him. If Su Yun had so much fun here and left Cho Yun alone in the reception area, Cho Yun would have nowhere to go. If she had to stay in the room like this, he would be too sorry for Cho Yun. This would make Cho Yun feel very unbearable. Hence, Su Yun really didn't plan to stay here this time. He still felt that it was better for him to go back with Cho Yun. Staying here for an entire afternoon already made Cho Yun feel very aggrieved. This was a contradictory decision. However, this was the Dragon Brigade after all. It was where Yu Meiren was used to living. Hence, Su Yun still considered Cho Yun more. He believed that Yu Meiren would understand this. I won't stay here tonight. Su Yun said, I still have to go back to Qingdao. I still have things to do. After he went back, he would wait for another week or so. Gu Qia should be arriving soon. Are you serious, boss? You just arrived today and you're leaving already? Qian Feng was obviously very disappointed. Don't do that, boss. We're still waiting to drink with you after tonight's training. Everyone was also very disappointed. Su Yun smiled helplessly. I have no choice. I'm already very satisfied to be able to come back and see that everything is fine. We don't mind. We can understand and understand. But Sister Yu. This also touched Su Yun's heart. That's right. He didn't even know how to tell Yu Meiren. But other than telling the truth, there was no better way to deal with this matter. Boss, in that case, we won't waste your time anymore. Hurry up and eat your fill. Hua Xiaolu said. Sister, you must be waiting for you now. That's right, that's right. Hurry up and go, boss. Su Yun laughed dryly. There's no hurry. She still needs to tidy up. Boss. You're still a man in the outside world. Can't you be more romantic? It's said that absence makes the heart grow fonder. If you go now, it'll be a romantic thing for the two of you to tidy up the room together. Qian Feng said, You can't waste this opportunity. That's right, that's right. A group of people who followed the trend only knew how to jeer. However, what they said was true. Su Yun nodded. All right, take your time. I won't talk to you anymore. Boss, when you wake up later, come to the training ground to play with us. Why are you still going to the training ground? You'll be tired by then. You should have a good rest. Ha ha ha. Yes, have a good rest. I'm tired. Su Yun glared at them. I think your tongues should be pulled out. Stop farting. Who wants to sleep in the middle of the day? Everyone booed. Su Yun shook his head helplessly. He stood up and said, I'm not going to waste my saliva on you bastards. I'll give the chief a call later and tell him that you're complaining that you haven't been training hard enough. I'll ask him to give you more meals. Boss. Don't be so cruel. We're already so tired that our muscles are about to break. Oh my God. Please don't. The chief will really believe your words, boss. It'll be even better if he really believes it. Su Yun walked away after he finished speaking. He didn't care about their complaints behind his back. They still had the mood to talk nonsense and gossip. It was obvious that they hadn't been trained enough. After a few days of harsh training, they wouldn't have the mood to think nonsense anymore. What was the point of gossiping? Su Yun left the cafeteria and went straight to Yu Meiren's dormitory. He didn't have many romantic thoughts. If it weren't for those brats' reminders, he wouldn't have thought of it. According to Su Yun's personality, he would really wait until Yu Meiren was done tidying up before he came. When Su Yun knocked on the door, Yu Meiren didn't expect it to be him. She opened the door without asking. When she saw Su Yun, she was shocked. Why are you here so soon? I just started tidying up. I've eaten too. Those brats are too noisy. I came over to help you tidy up. Su Yun walked into the room after he finished speaking. You don't have to tidy up. I can do it myself. Forget it. Since you're already here, go sit on the sofa over there. I'll get you a glass of water. Yu Meiren walked quickly to the sofa and put away the clothes. Su Yun started to look around the room. It was indeed a dormitory for single people. It was quite casual. There were even underwear hanging on the clothes rack that was thrown onto the sofa. Seeing this, Su Yun couldn't help but sigh. He didn't need to guess to know that Yu Meiren must have been working very hard during this period of time. He should really tell the chief that Beauty Yu needed to be forced to rest. It was time for this workaholic illness to be treated. Chapter 2778. You've been quite busy recently. Su Yun said, If you're like this, your body will definitely not be able to take it. No, I'm fine. Yu Maren smiled guiltily. Besides, I'm not busy. I've just been a little lazy recently, so I didn't tidy up the room. It's definitely not because of the overtime work that I didn't have time to tidy up the room, really. Su Yun shook his head helplessly. This is called admitting it without being pressed. Yu Maren was stunned. She stuck out her tongue and lowered her head. I know you're working hard. This is a good thing, and your attitude is right. Su Yun said, but if you don't have a good body, how can you work hard? Okay. I know. I'll pay attention. Yu Maren said, don't preach to me anymore. Su Yun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Forget it. You go and tidy up over there. Leave this to me. Oh, okay. Yu Maren didn't stop Su Yun. The feeling of the two of them tidying up the room together was actually quite good. She occasionally fantasized about it. She didn't expect it to come true inexplicably today. Yu Maren would cherish the time she spent with Su Yun and everything she did with Su Yun. Soon, the two of them tidied up the room neatly. Su Yun was also sweating. He even helped Yu Maren wipe the bottom of her bed clean. Go and take a shower, Yu Maren said to Su Yun. Otherwise, you'll catch a cold easily after sweating for a while. With my body, I really don't know what it feels like to catch a cold. Su Yun said, it's okay. Go. Anyway, there's nothing to do now. Yu Maren knew that Su Yun would not catch a cold. But no matter who it was, once they stopped working and sweated, their clothes would feel cold, especially in winter. It was very uncomfortable. Yu Maren had some undergarments that Su Yun could change into. They were all given out by the brigade. Qian Feng helped Su Yun get them and then gave them to Yu Maren. He said, in case Brother Yun comes and needs them. At first, Yu Maren also thought that it might not be necessary. Today, she finally had a chance to use it. Of course, she didn't want Su Yun to get cold in sweaty clothes. I have your clothes here. After saying that, Yu Maren took out the clothes from the wardrobe and said, change your clothes. Leave the clothes on your body to me. I'll help you wash them. Su Yun was stunned. He didn't expect that Yu Maren would have his clothes here. Go. Yu Maren urged again. Don't just stand there. You'll catch a cold later. Aren't you the same? Su Yun said. You're sweating too. Aren't you afraid of catching a cold? I'll take a shower for a while. You wash up first. Beauty, you said. I'm fine. Su Yun domineeringly carried Yu Maren up by her waist and said, how can you be fine? If you catch a cold, it'll be worse than if I catch a cold myself. Yu Maren was stunned. She didn't know what Su Yun wanted to do. If you're worried about catching a cold, then let's take a shower together. Su Yun didn't give Yu Maren a chance to refuse and directly carried her into the bathroom. Yu Maren's beautiful face turned pale. She said shyly, it's noon. What are you doing? Don't be like this. Put me down quickly. Is there a time limit for bathing? Su Yun didn't understand. There was no time limit for bathing, but this. A man and a woman bathing together would inevitably cause some other things to happen. This was unavoidable. Wait until nighttime. Now, at this time. Yu Maren was so embarrassed that she couldn't raise her head. I can't wait that long. Su Yun smirked and said, I want to do it now. Facing the ruffian Su Yun, Yu Maren had no ability to resist at all. In the afternoon, the medical team saw that Yu Maren didn't come to work, and no one asked much. They all knew that Yu Maren wasn't a person who would easily skip work. Even when she wasn't feeling well, she would put her mind and energy on work. She didn't come to work because Su Yun was back. There was only one reason. No one would disturb her. The leader of the medical team wasn't stupid enough to call her to ask about her situation. Instead, he called Hua Leitang and the Dragon Fury team. After confirming that Su Yun was back, he was relieved that Yu Maren didn't have anything else to do. Yu Maren got enough rest for the whole afternoon. Under Soo-yun's torment, she fell asleep exhausted. Soo-yun didn't disturb her and waited for her to wake up at 5 in the afternoon. When Yoo-marin woke up, the sky was already dark. "You're awake," Soo-yun said. "I thought you would sleep until tomorrow morning." Yoo-marin smiled and said, "If I slept until tomorrow morning, would you stay here with me until tomorrow morning?" Soo-yun thought for a moment and said, "Yes." Yoo-marin was stunned. She sensed Soo-yun's thoughts and said, "Now that I'm awake, you won't stay with me, right?" "I still have some things to take care of in Qingdao," Soo-yun said. "I came back this time to see you and the others and to relax. Zhua Meiyan got me a very difficult entry card for the auction. It would be too embarrassing if I refused to come. There's another reason. I didn't come alone. Cho-yun came with me." Soo-yun wouldn't lie to Yoo-marin. Yoo-marin nodded and said, "I understand." Soo-yun said, "It's good that you understand." "If it were me, I would do the same," Yoo-marin said. "Cho-yun must be bored alone in the reception area. If she stayed there alone for the night, she would be even more bored." Soo-yun smiled helplessly and said, "Yes. Give her a call and ask her to pack up. We'll have dinner together tonight and then I'll send you off," Yoo-marin said considerately. Soo-yun nodded and dialed Cho-yun's number. "I'm sorry to keep you so bored for the whole afternoon," Soo-yun said. "Get ready. We'll go back after dinner." Cho-yun was stunned. "Today? At night?" "Yes," Soo-yun said. "Otherwise, you'll be bored." Cho-yun realized that Soo-yun was taking her feelings into consideration. Otherwise, why would he travel at night? There was nothing to do when he went back. "Let's leave tomorrow." Cho-yun found an excuse and said, "I'm not feeling well." "Ah." Soo-yun was stunned, but he quickly understood Cho-yun's meaning. Cho-yun was actually thinking about him, so she didn't care about whether she was bored or not. To be honest, this excuse was quite lame. "But you—" "No buts." Cho-yun said, "I'm really not feeling well. I want to have a good rest tonight. Just do what you have to do." Soo-yun said, "Then wait for me. I'll go and see how you are." "No need, I'm fine," Cho-yun said. Soo-yun said helplessly, "You're the one who says you're not feeling well, and you're the one who says you're fine. Who should I believe?" Don't worry about me." Cho-yun said, "You deal with your own things. I'm fine. I just want to rest." Yoo-marin also heard Cho-yun's words. Seeing that Soo-yun didn't know how to deal with it, she grabbed Soo-yun's phone. "Cho-yun, if you're not feeling well, you can lie down first. I'll go with Soo-yun to take a look at you. This is a professional doctor. The top young talent in Hua-xia." Cho-yun was speechless. She just casually said a reason. There was really no need to be like this. My God. Cho-yun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I really don't know what to say." "Then wait for us." Yoo-marin didn't give Cho-yun a chance to refuse and hung up the phone directly. Chapter 2779. Cho-yun felt quite helpless. The main reason was that she didn't have anything to do. She just wanted to give Soo-yun and Yoo-marin some alone time. After all, Yoo-marin couldn't leave Dragon Brigade. There were many things in the medical team that required her participation, knowledge, and research. After Soo-yun took over Sky Entertainment Group and his new identity, it was impossible for him to stay in Dragon Brigade for long periods of time. Therefore, the two of them lived separately. It wasn't easy for them to meet up. Cho-yun could understand Yoo-marin very well. After all, Yoo-marin wasn't like them. Although she couldn't be by Soo-yun's side all the time, she still spent more time with Soo-yun. Unfortunately, the two of them didn't understand her intentions at all. Less than 15 minutes after the phone call, Soo-yun and Yoo-marin arrived at Cho-yun's room in the reception area. Cho-yun looked helpless. "I'm really fine. Sorry for making you guys worry." Soo-yun saw that Cho-yun was really fine and relaxed. "Then you said you couldn't leave. It's not easy for you to come back. Stay with the team for one more night. Cho Yun said. But she hasn't seen you in a long time. Your brothers must want to chat with you tonight. Cho Yun said. Do you think it's appropriate for you to leave today? Although it wasn't appropriate to leave Cho Yun alone in the reception area. Don't think about me. Cho Yen said. It's not that you don't know me. I'm a person who likes to be quiet and alone. Su Yun knew that she was talking nonsense. Su Yun would have believed it if Cho Yun had said that she liked peace and solitude when they first met. But now, Su Yun certainly did not believe that Cho Yun and Ruan Qingshuang had long been used to the rhythm of everyone living together. Therefore, loneliness had long left Cho Yun's life. The Cho Yun of today had already changed. It's because I understand you that I know that you are no longer the same person as before, Su Yun said indifferently. I know myself best, Cho Yun said. You don't have to think about me, okay? Su Yun was stunned. Seeing Cho Yun's firm attitude, he knew that Cho Yun would not change her mind. All right, you'll have dinner with us tonight. Su Yun, you've been quiet for the whole afternoon. You need to have some fun with us tonight. Without waiting for Cho Yun to refuse, Yu Meren stepped forward and pulled her. Yes, let's all eat together. If Su Yun doesn't leave tonight, the chief will consider giving the Dragon Fury team a night off. Cho Yun wanted to refuse, but she could not find a better reason. Moreover, this night was not just for the two of them. Those guys were going to join in? You can't refuse. Otherwise, it'll be too boring for me to eat with them alone, Yu Meren pleaded again. Then it's settled. Su Yun smiled. After their training, I'll ask the chief to help them apply for leave and let the other brothers in the special forces switch shifts. Then, are you still going to ask the chief out? Yu Meren was stunned. Of course not. Su Yun. Moreover, even if he invited them, they would not agree. If we ask them to join us, they won't be able to relax. Yu Meren waved her hand and urged Su Yun. Then hurry up and ask the chief to help them apply for leave. Cho Yun and I will talk here. After Su Yun was chased out by the two of them, he went directly to Wan Guangxiao to apply for leave. Although it was not very appropriate, Wan Guangxiao would still give him some face. However, he could not agree to let them leave the army. However, he allowed the canteen to prepare more delicious dishes to go with alcohol. He also allowed them to drink a few more glasses of alcohol today. Anyway, they were all people who had undergone alcohol immunity training. There was no harm in drinking a little. This matter really made the brothers in the other teams envious. At this time, everyone had an impulsive thought. Why weren't they chosen to join the Dragon Fury team back then? Sigh, it was still better to follow Captain Yen Long and Su Yun. Look at the brothers in the Dragon Fury team. After training, they all went back to wash up. Usually, they did not need to rush to the canteen for dinner. In the past, they had to eat without talking. Today, they could even laugh and talk in the canteen. This was simply a fairy-like day. Moreover, all the work that was arranged for the Dragon Fury team today was shared by the other Special Forces teams. If the chief was not biased, who would believe it? No one would believe it. It was as if they were being raised by a stepmother. Of course, no one dared to say this out loud. If they did, they would be waiting to be scolded. However, envy was envy. What should be done still had to be done. The work that should be done still had to be done. They couldn't possibly drop their work and run over to Dragon's Fury's side to enjoy themselves, right? They were all men with backbone. No matter what they were thinking, they couldn't say it out loud. Even if the people from Dragon's Fury asked them, they had to show an indifferent look and express that they did not care to participate in any of Dragon's Fury's activities. The brothers in the Dragon Fury team were really happy. When they heard that the training at night had been specially cancelled for them, all of them cheered loudly. Long live the chief! Of course, they knew very well who had done all this. If it were not for Su Yun, they would never have been able to enjoy this special time. Everyone was indeed very happy that night. However, in the end, they forgot to give Su Yun and Yu Meren some time alone. Yu Meiren directly went back to the guest room with Cho Yun to rest. Su Yun, on the other hand, went to the dormitory with a group of men to sleep for the night. Although it was a night, they did not sleep for long. They ate until midnight and chatted for another 2 to 3 hours when they went back. So when Su Yun really fell asleep, the sky was already bright. The army's reveille would not change because they played too late last night. And the brothers in the Dragon Fury team would not skip today's training mission because they slept too little last night. As soon as the reveille sounded, everything returned to normal. Everyone followed the prescribed order and did what they were supposed to do. No one could escape from their own task, and no one could escape from their own responsibilities. When their lives were on the right track, it was time for Su Yun to say goodbye. In the end, after saying goodbye to Yu Meiren, Su Yun and Cho Yun also left. Su Yun did not rest well. Cho Yun was much more energetic than him, so when they got in the car, Cho Yun asked Su Yun to lie flat on the passenger seat and rest. Along the way, Cho Yun did not wake him up and let Su Yun sleep. By the time Su Yun slept for more than 3 hours, they had already driven past Ji Bei and were still halfway to Qingdao. The two entered the highway service area and casually ate something. Then, they continued on their way. Su Yun took the steering wheel and drove directly to Qingdao. He did not feel tired along the way. Maybe it was because his mood was relaxed. When they returned to Qingdao, the sun had just set. The entire ocean was like a red tide. It was both beautiful and a little strange. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.